Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, my little cupcats. How's it going?
So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of different shows. A lot of different manga. I always
Oh, my
do
throat's
that.
acting up.
I always
Sorry,
say
I didn't take a drink
episodes
there.
instead of volumes.
Yeah, we do though. We really do have a lot of good stuff tonight. Particularly real life citrus and slime recorded slime monster.
Oh,
I was gonna say slime
Nisekoi. The
rancher.
last page of Nisekoi was so good too, though.
Yeah.
I'm curious. What do you think of Bigata so far?
It's kind of like since I saw the anime, it's kind of like manime, but it is still pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. I was just
What about
curious
you?
because it's one of what, two that are in four koma style instead of the traditional uh more similar to comic style. So I was just kind of curious. It changes the pacing pretty heavily when it's in that four koma style. New life feels or new game feels really weird to me too. All right, so what manga do we want to start with? BNHA.
Yeah, we can do B and HA.
Okay, we can start with BNHA. Let's see if I can find it. I pre-produced the entire show today, so everything is a little bit easier, and you guys won't have like constant resizing of images mid-show. Hopefully, as long as I didn't fuck anything up.
Wait. Before we start, did you get the scissors icon? This is important. This is
No, I
important
never
for
found a good
citrus.
one.
No, especially with the picture I found.
Yeah, I never found a good one, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Never found a good scissors cursor.
Just adding scissors would have done.
No, it needs to have a it has to have a transparent background.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so far in this chapter for my hero, we were left off with Ochako versus Bakugo. And if you thought he was going to hold back because she's a girl, oh, howdy, are you guys wrong? Like, this is the only moment I will respect Bakugo because an opponent, like, someone to, like, kill is someone to kill. Like, he doesn't care about your gender, your race, or who you identify as. If he wants to kick your ass, he'll kick your ass.
He gonna
So,
whoop your
yeah.
ass.
So she goes full out with him, and he takes her
Mm-hmm.
seriously, which I respect that. She just one after the other, like she just keeps coming back. Like he keeps making explosions in her face. Rocks are chipping at her. Like she's taking damage, and she just keeps going at it. Like I was pretty impressed with how much she was gonna go, like how far she was gonna go with it. And then yeah, she just kept going. Gets tossed around. Even the people in the stands, like heroes, are kind of being like, "Oh, she's just a girl. You should go easy on her. What kind of hero does this? Blah 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 blah." Like the stupid bullshit stuff.
Didn't you send me
And
over the bit where Aizawa
defends him.
defends him and reprimands them?
I did send that to you.
Okay, good. That's what I thought this next one was.
Yes. So Aizawa was like, hold on, my peeps, shut the fuck up. This is a tournament. She is competing. Yeah, basically tells him like it would be more insulting if he toyed with her and she's supposed to become a pro hero. If he lets her off easy, that doesn't make her better as a hero. Like the villains that she goes up against isn't going to go easy on her. And Bako's respecting her by giving her the best chance she gets and to also cream her into the dirt like anyone else.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
last line right here, his caution shows that he recognizes her as a worthy opponent. If he was playing with her, if he was toying with her, if he was going easy, he can only do that if he thinks that she's worthless, less than a hero, less than he is. He can't hold back if he's up against somebody that is actually worth fighting. And so by choosing not to hold back. He is showing that he respects her ability.
Yeah. Which is like the only time that I was like, oh, Bakugo's not a complete piece of shit. And I really didn't like that hero for trying to call him out because there was this guy at the stands that was just like, boo you, what hero are you? And I was like, dude, shut the like, you work with female heroes. You should know better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like that was my point of view because I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, if Uraka really feels like her life's going to be in danger, she'll tap out. Like, she has the option to tap out. Like, she wants to take this seriously, and he's taking it seriously for her. Look at her face. Like, she is, like, all in. She just wants to, she wants to kick ass. Like, honestly, that's those eyes. I can kind of see why Tundra thinks she's going to be a villain.
She is already a villain. Because she stole my heart. No, I'm just fucking.
Yeah. And she almost got him one time. Like, there was this part in the manga where she, like, makes all the rubble come down on him, but unfortunately she doesn't remember that the more he sweats, like, the higher the explosion to sweat ratio there will be. So, like, he basically explodes all her hard work. Like, it's kind of like a pointless strategy. Like, there's no winning this for her, sadly. Not really. Especially because, like, she doesn't know hand to hand yet. So she can't really get in there and, like, actually do
Oh,
something
yeah,
to
that's
him.
true. I forgot about that. She hasn't done. We're used to thinking of Ochako as having
After she's done
been
it.
like after she's done her like hand to hand training and stuff like that, and she hasn't at this point. She's just
Yeah.
still like a kid, for lack
Yeah,
of a
you gotta
better
remember,
term.
like, she's just doing what she can currently do.
Yeah.
Like, if she was at that point, because, like, yeah, she later down on the road, she does learn hand to hand combat, which she gets really good at, like, really fucking good. But, like, she
Spoilers.
doesn't, yeah, like, if she was in that time, like, she could easily go in there and probably do something, but she currently doesn't know any of those things. So it makes sense for her not to.
Yeah, this was a really smart trick too. Every time, so the whole time she's fighting him, she just keeps him on the defense the whole time. She rushes forwards, super low to the ground, dragging her hand along the ground, and every time, because her whole goal is just to get him up in the air. Because
Yeah.
once he's up in the air, even though he's less defenseless than most people, he is much more defenseless than he is on the ground if he isn't able to touch the ground.
Which he recognizes that strategy. That's why he's like full going. He respects that strategy.
And so she goes
Yeah.
full fucking ham, charging him over and over again. And every time he pushes her back, she doesn't even hesitate. And the whole time, she's staying super low to the ground. The reason is because every time she's close to the ground, she's tapping rocks that are broken away from the
From the
from
ground.
the arena from previous fights, so that they are all slowly lifting into the air, and he isn't noticing it because he's too busy focusing on the fact that she is
Charging
fully
at him.
pressing him.
Yeah. So after she deems like there's enough rocks that she can handle, she like does a meteor shower.
Yeah.
Too bad, again,
Which is this one still.
Bakugo has a pretty powerful quirk and high stamina. So like it was GG from there. Like if he's got a sweat going, his explosion's gonna be pretty bad. He just basically explodes all those rocks.
Yeah, he just aims straight up and unleashes a full blast. And
Yeah,
then
which it does show though his hand starts to shake. So if she had enough energy and kept going, she could have won if she was able to tap more items.
yeah, because
Like if she put
right
down that
after this,
X.
she runs out of endurance and stamina and passes out.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. If she had just a little bit more and could have done it again, they would either just both be knocked out because his hands were shaking, and like when his hands shake, that shows physical strain and he can't do it anymore. So like if she could have just hold out, did one more time, it would have been like a much more closer fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm like, oh, so close.
So then, like right afterwards, they're talking about how Bakugo beat the frail girl, and this is
Yeah.
his response to the whole thing. Just
Yeah, and
like,
he's
are
just
you
like, there's
fucking
nothing.
kidding me?
Yeah, there's nothing frail about her. Yeah, because Bakugo recognizes her. He sees that beast of a woman, and he's just like, that's not. She's not frail.
That beast of a woman. Good lord.
She is though.
Yeah, because she's evil.
She's not evil. Okay. So, and then there's this next scene where Trash Hero talks to Midoriya.
Okay, by trash hero, she means the number 2 hero, Endeavor, who uses fire powers, and he's Todoroki's dad. We come to find out that he's also a piece of fucking human garbage.
Yeah, he's Trash Hero.
He treats Todoroki like shit, treats Todoroki's mom like shit.
Like
I was gonna take the time to draw a fucking
trash can.
no, I was gonna draw a wife beater on him and make him look like Carl from Aqua Teen.
Oh my god, that would have been legit. So legit. No, like there are rumors that he beats his wife, which I kind of believe that. I actually believe that. I wouldn't.
Rumors. I'm pretty sure that was like a stated fact.
It was rumored, but like we don't see him actually hit her.
No, but
So
I mean Todoroki. It's rumored by Todoroki, his son, who lives with him.
I thought it was other people whispering around him. I
No,
thought that was the same.
pretty sure Todoroki like outright says as much.
Oh, but
Maybe
it's
not
still.
to people, but to the like to us that we can
Oh
see
yeah.
him thinking about it.
And so like basically his dad made Todoroki train every single fucking day, not having a childhood. He basically watches his siblings play and stuff. It's really depressing.
Basically, the long and the
Really
short is
hard to
the
watch.
only reason why Endeavor married his wife, who is Todoroki's
Mom.
mom, is because she has ice powers, he has fire powers. He basically paid off her parents to effectively sell her to him so that he could have a kid with both the fire and the ice powers, aka
Yep.
the character in the show. And he
Todoroki.
treats all of his children who aren't Todoroki. Well, when we say Todoroki, that's their last name. So,
Shoto.
Yeah, he treats everyone but Shoto, all of his kids except for Shoto, like absolute shit. He treats his wife like shit.
He treats Shoto kind of like shit. Not as much as the others because he's useful. But there are like scenes where he trains him way too hard. Like there was a scene where he was like a little kid and punches him in the stomach.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't even look like he hold back because like Shoto, like there's a scene where he threw up. So that suggests like he put enough force behind that to hurt.
Yeah,
So
and then
like, and then
here he is in
like,
his street clothes looking like the piece of shit he is.
right? And then like it's just hard because like basically because of the poor treatment, this trash flame this I can't even like finish this. But like it basically puts so much pressure on his wife that she goes into like a psychotic breakdown.
Yeah, and that's why Todoroki has his scars. The wife freaks out, like has like a mental breakdown,
Yeah.
and Todoroki comes up behind her while she's having her mental breakdown, and she sees the side of him that has the same color hair as his dad, and freaks the fuck out and throws boiling water on his face before realizing it's her kid, not her husband.
Like, yeah, she's literally on the phone telling her mom, like, she can't do it. She needs to leave. Because more and more, like, Shoto is looking more like him. And it's, like, putting her back into, like, an episode. And, like, in a reaction, like, just reacts, like, pours water on him. And it's, like, heartbreaking.
So,
and then, like, it's suggested that she was put into a hospital, but I'm pretty sure he beat her before then.
she was put in a mental hospital.
I think he beat her before going to the hospital, too. Like, the mental hospital still. Because, like, right after, like, you don't see her.
Yeah, but that's because it's a flashback. I don't know.
I don't know.
So then the next thing that happens, which I have zero pictures of because frankly the fight is it goes exactly how you would expect it to go, is the fight between Midoriya and um Shoto Todoroki. And of course Todoroki wins because Midoriya can't fucking fight worth a damn without breaking his own arms and fingers and everything else under the sun.
Yeah,
But he
it's
does
basically like
in the process, he manages to convince Shoto to use his fire in combat, which is something he doesn't do.
which is like that scene from SpongeBob where SpongeBob and Patrick are wrestling, and SpongeBob's like, Patrick, remember who you are. And Patrick's like full blown, not himself. And then SpongeBob is finally like, Patrick, we're best friends. And Patrick snaps out of it and returns to normal. It's like that, but like people have broken limbs. And Midoriya's trying to like remind Shoto that he's not his dad and you are better than that and wake up basically, because Shoto's like so trapped within himself, his own mind and himself, and then basically realizes like, oh yeah, Midoriya's right. I'm not my dad. I'm not gonna be that piece of shit.
Yeah,
And
basically he says this whole thing, only he says it to Shoto as well as Endeavor
yeah,
in the middle of combat.
yeah, pretty much. And Shoto finally like let's use this flame side because his whole point he's been using only ice. He's been so against fire because it's his dad who's fire. So he finally uses the flames on Midoriya, which sucks for Midoriya because Midoriya's used all his aces in the hole. But Midoriya is more concerned about Shoto's like growth and as a person than winning, which I love Midoriya because yes, that is a true fucking good character. I was like, yes, okay. And so Midoriya does lose the match, which is sad, but it was going to happen. Midoriya had broken arms. Shoto was kind of running out of breath, but wasn't really injured. So it only made sense. I'm really glad I didn't do Power of Friendship where Midoriya won because I would have been pissed off. But
Yeah, that would
they
have been
didn't.
fucking irritating. I'd have
Well,
been
they
pretty
didn't do,
pissed
which I
off.
respect.
Yeah.
I was respecting that because like he is the main character, but they're like, yeah, he lost.
Yeah,
Oh,
he lost because he should lose because he's not that powerful. But then this had this interaction between Endeavor. So when he sees Midoriya convince Shoto to use his fire powers, Endeavor's like, "Oh, finally, he's stopped rebelling against me and he's going to actually be a big boy now." And this is his fucking response when Endeavor interacts with him after the fight. He's just like, as if I could be convinced. It's just for a minute. I forgot you even exist.
yeah, and I think I hoped during that scene he was like, oh, maybe I should be better towards my kid. But no, he was like, oh, well, I don't care if you have your fire or not. You can still be useful to me. It sucks that you hate me, but I don't really care about you.
Right.
And Shoto's like, yeah, I'm just going to go process this and walks away.
Uh-huh.
Just, yeah, with his half torn uniform off for the fan service, which isn't much fan service because there's no nipple and it freaks me out when they don't have nipples.
He doesn't have nipples.
They don't.
He's a man. Right. He doesn't need them, so.
Oh my god, no. It's not realistic.
So then the next interaction we see after that point is we see Ida about to enter in his fight.
Yeah.
And immediately before his fight, we see his brother go off to fight a villain. And we don't see the villain at first. But then we see this scene right here.
It doesn't look good. It looks
does
pretty
not
fucking bad,
look
honestly.
very good.
Which I was like, oh, poor Ida.
Yeah.
Because if you're losing that much blood, either you're fucking wrecked or dead. Either way, you're not looking good. So I'm hoping he's alive. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. Then I have more stain from the next picture. Because right after the fight between Ida's brother and Stain, our friends from the League of Villains feel the need to contact Stain directly.
Yeah.
And
And they're like, "Excuse me, sir, do you want to join our super evil club?" And he's like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "But sir, we could do some bad crimes." And he's like, "I just want to purge the heroes." And they're like, "But you could do that with us." And he's kind of on board, but kind of not. He does his own thing still. Like it, I feel like it wasn't very clear.
so then the only
I feel like
other
it was
thing
just
that
ambiguous.
happens in this volume, which is why I say it's one of the most boring ones we had this week, is there's the aftermath of after everybody's fighting. Oh, wait, no, we had Bakugo versus Todoroki, which is a terrible fucking fight. Bakugo ends up winning because Todoroki refuses to use his fire against Bakugo. So he fights like the ice power is objectively worse than Bakugo's explosions. Now, fire
Yeah.
versus explosions, he might have a little bit of way to wiggle room it, but Todoroki's power is not cold. His power is ice. He freezes things, but he can't just like decrease the temperature of the air. And on top of that, his ability to like um Bakugo's explosions wouldn't be affected even then. So the ice is just objectively it's a losing battle. It doesn't matter that it's a good power. It's just not in a good matchup in this circumstance. Much like when Bakugo fights Tokoyama, where Bakugo's ability makes light, Tokoyama's ability doesn't work in bright light, therefore Tokoyama just loses. It's very much the same thing here. The ice that Todoroki makes is not immune to being blown the fuck up, and and he isn't able to do jack squat against Bakugo. They basically break even, but Bakugo has more endurance than Todoroki, so Todoroki loses because he refuses to use his fire powers. At which point Bakugo
Yeah.
throws a huge fucking fit because he didn't want to win if Todoroki wasn't actually going all out.
Which I kind of don't blame him because it was he was looking forward to this fight. Like
Yeah.
since the beginning of the tournament, he has been fucking letting Shoto know, like, hey, this is a big deal to me. Like, I want us to go all out, like in Bakugo's terms. He wasn't like very direct, but like he like was pretty clear to Shoto, like, I'm going all out. You need to go all out, and got pissed off because like Shoto kind of regressed, which does happen. Like he's a person and doesn't want to use the fire again because he's still processing after what happened. Like it's too soon. So he kind of holds back. And I
Too
don't
soon, man. Too
way too
soon.
soon. And basically Bakugo justifiably got pissed off because he was like, hey, I thought we were going all out. You went all out with Midoriya. Why didn't you go all out with me? And yes, I know, like like Bakugo really doesn't deserve like a good fight because Bakugo's a piece of shit. But still, it was a little unfair to Bakugo,
You went out
honestly.
with Midoriya. Why won't you go out with
Go out
me?
with
I'm the
me.
one who really
Exactly.
loves you.
Oh my god. I just need one of them to hook up. Like seriously
If
though.
anyone's gonna hook up, if there's gonna be any gay relationship in the show, it's or manga, it's gonna be Kirishima and Bakugo. So
I guess that's fair. They have like a bromance. Like it is they have a good connection. I actually kinda like those two
it's
together.
guy love. That's all it is. All right. So then the only other thing I have after the ending of the tournament is that there is a little bit afterwards before the end of this volume about what happens with each character after the fighting after the tournament is over. And the only one I have here, this one of course is Todoroki goes to leave and see his mom and he visits his house while he's there and we get to meet Fuyumi, who is Shoto's oldest sister, who's
Yes.
cute as hell. Look at the fucking glasses. Look at the unkempt hair that looks like ice. How cute is that?
And then she's got like specks of red, which is kind of cool. How that's a mix how that mixture is. And then like I think she's like a teacher. I think that's how they explain her backstory. Is like she teaches at a school. I think she's cute. I want to see more of her.
Yeah, she's
Quite
cute.
honestly,
Look at them boobies too.
of course, that's where you go. But yeah, that's basically the wrap. Like each one gets medals, don't they? Is that the medal scene too? Didn't that
Yeah, I don't
happen?
have it, but yeah, each of the top three got
My
medals.
favorite is literally Bakugo's chained up and fucking gagged and shit because he's so pissed off he didn't win, and All Might just awkwardly puts the chain in his mouth because like he's just
He
fucking
he
pissed.
won't let All Might put the chain around the metal around his neck, so he has to put it in his mouth because he
Oh man, I
keeps
wish you
trying to
included.
bite him.
I wish you include the scene where he's awkwardly hugging people because that's the fucking best. He's just like awkwardly hugs the like the crow dude, and then he just awkwardly hugs Shoto, and Shoto's like clearly not even present. And then he's just like, okay, let's just get this over with, and goes over to Bakugo. Like, oh, it's like the only person that's okay with winning is Crow Dude, and I barely know him. Like,
And this is cute. Ochako comes home, and her parents are there, even though they're supposed to be at work, and they're like, "Oh."
they're like, oh, we watched you, and she's like, Daddy, I lost, and he's like, that's okay. You still shouldn't. You should stop being a hero and not and just go do something else. Be safer.
And
Follow your
here's the
dreams.
best part. Fucking Mama Midoriya. I fainted 7 whole times since the cavalry battle, and the last 2 times were from dehydration.
Oh my god. Damn. I know you told me your quirk suddenly manifested, but why does it have to be such a risky power? Like, okay, I'm sorry. Does she not question his quirk? Out of everybody present, shouldn't she be like, your quirk doesn't make sense with the parents you have?
Right? It's because
Like, your dad breathes fire, and I make shit come to me. And
his
yet,
his
you
dad
make
doesn't
super
breathe fire.
wind? You make super wind and, like, fucking punch people?
Pretty sure his dad actually punches people and
Like,
is the
oh, yeah,
symbol
that's
of
what I was
peace.
thinking.
He smiles and punches people.
Punches
That's what his
people.
dad does.
Yeah, Tundra and I are 100% behind the Midoriya is All Might's love child because that would just be perfection.
And his
And
mom
I,
was super fucking cute when she was younger. So I mean, I wouldn't blame All Might. It'd be
all
weird if
right,
you guys did. All right. So, no more BNHA. What one were we going to do next?
Citrus.
Citrus. All right, I
Citrus
got
was
you.
really good this month.
Let me find Citrus, because good lord. Okay. Citrus, what? Did you say month?
This week.
Yeah, Citrus was good this
But I
week.
mean, yeah.
So there's a couple of different things that. Wait, what? Do I have this one in here?
Excuse me.
My bad. I might not have thrown this one in. You gonna be mad at me?
Is it the only one I wanted?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so there's this scene in fucking Citrus, and it's just like she's just there. Like, okay, so blonde hair girl and her friend from the school are talking and jamming, and basically is like asking her for advice on what to do with May. And for how the fuck, and they're like reading a girl on girl manga too. Like her friend doesn't even care, but like her friend gets the manga and starts reading it, and then she's like, maybe you should do this, and throws her waist and her legs over the girl's hips. Oh my god, it's like I summoned Cyber. You're just in time. I'm really sad because Hunter didn't include the pic. Okay, but anyway, basically throws her leg over her leg and is almost scissoring her. And then he's like, "What are you
This is the
doing
only one you
exactly?"
guys are getting that isn't in the fucking thing because I have to fucking show it.
Like she just like picks up the book and uses like, "What are you doing?" You could always try to get closer using moves from this manga. Just like what the fuck? What the actual fuck though? I cracked up laughing. I was like, I like her. I like the friend. The friend
I
is the
would
best
ship
person.
these two if May wasn't just so broken.
Like May needs somebody at this point.
Mm. We're gonna come into that. Don't worry. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I didn't mean it like that. That was an unintentional pun. That was a Freudian slip. Just ignore it.
Okay.
Okay. So, the first scene I have right from the get go is we get to be formally introduced, more formally, to
Right, the first time.
Momo, the adorable vice
Eh.
president who wants May's body almost as much as her sister does.
I'm on the fence with her because she's like over the top about it. But then it gets into it why she's so over the top and like worries about May. Like this is she's not coming from a place of just I want to bang her. She's actually coming from a place of like May. I was there when May was broken. But
Momo legitimately has feelings for May.
yeah,
We don't know if Yuzu does yet or not.
which I was like, okay. Once I like, because like at first it comes off Mo was just like gonna be obsessed with her, just be obsessed with her, like the typical fangirl trope thing. But then like it's revealed that she legitimately has feelings. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's justifiable for going this level.
Yeah.
Because a high school girl with these many feelings, like it makes sense. It'd be weird if she wasn't, quite honestly, as a high school kid.
And
So yeah,
then,
like then this happens.
yeah.
Because Yuzu's like, I want a reward. And May's like, what do you want? And she's just like, I want you to kiss me. So they just do this kiss thing. Because, you know, that's what sisters do,
This
you know?
cute kiss because cutesy kisses.
Because, you know, when a sister helps a sister out, you know, you just kiss them for thanks.
That's how that
Nothing.
works. It's
That's how
exactly
that
what
works.
it's
Yeah,
what
totally.
exactly what happens every time.
Because this is the whole stage where Yuzu's like, oh, we're just gonna be sisters. I'm totally gonna treat her like a sister. And then this happens, and then it's just like, how's that going for you, Yuzu? How's that?
Sisters kiss, right? That's the thing
Right?
they do.
Sometimes when you do sleepovers, you know, your friends kiss other friends. Like that's totally normal, right? Right?
Yeah, Momo's super or Yuzu is super cute in that scene though. She's just like,
So cute.
I just want a kiss. It's not that bad.
Please. I don't want. Please don't grab my boobs. I just want a nice little kiss, little mwah,
Yeah.
little
So
little
then
action.
Momo decides that she thinks that there might be something between Yuzu and Mei. So this
Which there
scene
is.
happens, which of course there is. But Momo wants to be what's Mei's only one. So she's like, I won't give her up to you. And Yuzu's like, the fuck are you talking about? She's my sister. The fuck is
Exactly.
wrong with you?
Like
And then
sometimes
immediately walks away and is like, I gotta go touch myself to Mei.
yeah, no, this whole interaction, she's like, that's my sister, you freak. And then in the back of her mind, she's like, but I kiss my sister a lot. And I have weird dreams about my sister. Is she my sister? And then mom was like, I can sense your ill intentions. Like, she is mine and only mine. You freak. Like, step off. And so they leave. And Momo, being a typical high school girl, is like, huh, what can I do to express my feelings for May? Oh, let's go. I know. Let's go find May.
Let's
Let's
go
go let
stalk her.
let's go stalk her, and then let's just have a little mwah, mwah action on our own. You know, it's a little mwah, it's a little here and there. You know, just two friends in the student council room. Do a little hanky panky here and there. That's normal. Like that's just it's just girls being girls. You know.
Yep.
Then we're gonna powder our noses, and then we're gonna do some blood rituals, and then we're just gonna go in the cafeteria and laugh about it.
And
You guys do that
then
too, right?
I feel like what happens next is Yuzu decides to take Mei to visit her dad. Not Mei's dad, Yuzu's dad.
Yeah.
Which we don't realize this until she mentions it, and Mei does not know this until they walk into the graveyard, but Yuzu's dad is dead.
Yeah, she kind of brushes this off like it's a casual visit to her dad too. Like the whole scene, like really does not suggest you're visiting a grave. Like she's casual. Like the only hint you get is like May's like, "Hey, shouldn't we like hurry up? Isn't your dad waiting?" He's like, "Oh, you know, he's having like a lazy day." And
Yeah,
I was
I think
like,
she says she literally says I think he doesn't have much on his schedule for the day.
"Yeah."
Like
Like just really casual. And I was like, in a Japanese setting, like that's weird because they're all
no, it's
about work.
not. It's so not.
And so May's like, "Oh, okay, weirdo." And they actually on their way, Momo
Whoops, wrong
like
one.
intervenes.
No, this is that it doesn't happen until after this little scene.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so like yeah, they go to the grave and introduce May, and they have a touching moment.
Yeah, they have
Oh
a.
yeah, this is during the trip.
This is on the train where there's a molester on the train, and Yuzu pushes the molester away and stands right up against May, but they're so crowded in the train that she has to be right up against May's ear. And May's like, please don't breathe. Don't breathe. Because, of course, as we saw with Momo, May's ears are her weak spot.
Right? Because I was like, I kind of understand being ticklish, but not being that ticklish. So I'm just like, that's really weird to me that she's like buckling at the knees, like, don't do it.
It's not that she's ticklish.
I know what, like, you know, we all know what I'm talking about being ticklish, guys. Trying to keep it PG-13.
Fuck that. We're talking about citrus here. It literally says on the page that's up on the screen, is May getting turned on?
Right. And so
is this the next level?
Yuzu being Yuzu, which I was like, you know, this is just Justice Hurts at this point. It's just like, how do I fuck with May? Oh, that's right. Let me just keep blowing in her ear.
Yeah.
Little gropes here and there.
Little gropes.
Little gropes. And then May's like, you went too far. I'm now really, really turned on. Well, she does say that, but it's obvious. Like, she's super turned on and gets frustrated and then walks off. I was like, this is what you get.
So then
they go. How many times you left Yuzu hanging? You know how many times?
Then they run into Momo. Momo is being fucking weird, and May pretty much tells her this has nothing to do with you. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck is wrong with you? You're stalking me? Fucking gross. And Momo is just like, but, and May's like, I told you, get the fuck out of here. The fuck you doing,
Momo
bitch?
went a little too far with it, because like Momo was just like, I want you to stay away from her. And then it's just like really going out of bounds with it, in my opinion, because like she didn't even ask May how May felt with Yuzu. Like, she's just going based off assumption. So, like, that's why May was like, hey, you need to stop. You're stalking me.
Yeah, except she takes it way too far and is really mean about it.
That's fair. I'm saying, like, but like, I'm trying to understand from May's point, like, she's frustrated with Momo. Because think about it from May's perspective. Momo's not asked her how she felt about Yuzu. Not really. Like, she hasn't been really direct with May about Yuzu. Like, there's not been one conversation truly about it. There's been one conversation like, oh, who is Yuzu, or who is Yuzu to you? But nothing about like, hey, does Yuzu make you uncomfortable? Hey, how are you feeling about this? Like, she's operating off assumptions, so she's assuming what May feels and is making decisions for May. Yeah, May could have been nicer about it and been like, hey, it's not up to you. This isn't your business. But May, like, just snaps at her, which is very unwarranted, but I get from May's perspective.
Okay, so then they get to the graveyard. They both chat, and they're being, like, really close, really lovey-dovey. And May is clearly acting like she wants Yuzu to kiss her. But Yuzu's like, I can't do that. We're trying to be sisters. And, yeah, that doesn't work out. And she gets upset because she can't. And May's confused because she's like, what the fuck? I want the Lady D and she ain't giving it to me.
I know. She's like, I put out the signals.
You're right.
I put myself out there and I just want that D.
I just want that lady.
Exactly. And Easy was like, I just want to be a good sister. Why am I attracted to my sister? Yeah. I like how May's not even concerned about that. Like, May's just like straight up like into her. And then because basically May is struggling between being student council president and basically doing chairman stuff for her grandpa, because her grandpa's still in the hospital, I just think May gets kind of ill.
Yeah, she passes out at school. Almost falls down the stairs. It's not pretty. Not pretty at all.
And this is kind of where I respect Momo a little bit more, because this, like, in this situation, Momo wanted to be the one to take May and stuff and wanted to take over, but then Yuzu, like, gives her good points, like, hey, what's really on her mind is this meeting. Go attend to the meeting, so that's one less thing she's stressed about. And Momo just agrees to it, because she's now operating based off what's good for May and not what's good for Momo. So Momo does it. And Yuzu takes May to, like, the nurse's office.
Yep. At which point, she's like, I think she basically right before this, she tells Momo to basically go fuck herself. Like this is where
Yeah.
she's super harsh with Momo.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, she specifically says the reason that she can't skip the meeting and let Momo do it is because Momo isn't good enough to replace her.
Yeah, before that.
God damn it, Cyber. The Arthur fist in that bottom left pick. God damn.
Right? Yeah, no, before this, like, even Yuzu defends Momo a little bit. Because, yeah, May got really mean with her earlier, but, like, she's not feeling well. So.
Pretty sure after this, May tells, or Yuzu tells May that she needs to apologize to Momo, and she does. So, like, Yuzu's like, which is cute.
Yeah, she tells, like, May all about how worried Momo's been and stuff, and is like, hey, you really should make it up to your friend. And May does it. And Momo and May hug, and it's a really cute moment. And then just as about May recovers, her daddy issues come full of blast. Because guess who's home?
Daddy?
Are you my mommy? Mommy. No.
Okay.
Sorry, it's daddy.
Fucking creepy. So basically, she fucking, her dad comes home for literally like 24 fucking hours. That's it.
Like, yeah, which is kind of fucked.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, no, he comes home and he's like, what's up, my munchkins? I'm home, daddy's home, and hugs Yuzu. And kind of is indifferent with May because May's mad at him, but he doesn't know how to handle May. And Yuzu's trying her best to resolve the tension, but kind of loses like the actual focus on why May's mad.
Yeah.
And upset.
And then Yuzu and their dad hang out, and he's just like, I'd rather go. I'm not the type to like fucking return anywhere. I'd rather go forward, blaze my own. If I don't know where to go, I'll blaze my own path. And he's like, May's smarter than me. She's already got her life figured out, and he doesn't realize that the only reason she has her life quote unquote figured out is because she is waiting for him to come back and trying to hold things together for the life that he has already abandoned. Admittedly, because May's an idiot and didn't read any of his fucking letters that he sent to her from other places in the world. And the other places, he's like actually a badass. Like he goes to other countries teaching and things like that, and like low quality places and things and all kinds of stuff, charity work. He's like a genuine badass, and May doesn't even know any of this shit because she just didn't read any of his fucking letters because she was too mad at him.
Yeah, which sucks. It really, really fucking sucks because once we know, it's just like, oh man, he's awesome. He's actually really legit. And then, she doesn't know. She doesn't even know. And then she reads the letters, and I guess she finds out. But it's like, I want him to visit again even sooner because I want to know.
This right here is the version of her dad that she knows. Remembers. Like he's put the school before his own happiness, all this other shit.
Yeah, I was really bothered by that line. I was like, May, like, do you hear what you're actually saying? His own happiness. Like your dad wasn't happy. Like your dad's now finally happy, and the lesson isn't he's abandoning his responsibility. It's his responsibility to be happy.
Right. So then, of course, the fact that her dad is home prompts an explosion of daddy issues.
Oh yeah.
So we have this scene where she's like, oh, I guess my dad doesn't need me anymore because he doesn't want to come back to the school. You need me, don't you, Yuzu?
Yeah, and it sucks because Yuzu's finally like waking up her feelings more, and May knows Yuzu likes her, and it's just kind of like, I'm gonna take my frustrations out in this sexual situation.
Yeah, and May's kind of like taking advantage of Yuzu here as usual,
which sucks. It sucks big time for Yuzu. That's why I'm like, I have problems with
usual.
And then, essentially, like, as that hand creeps, Yuzu's like, whoa, no. Like, you're not thinking about my feelings.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm good at following orders. Just tell me what you want. And she just keeps pushing it and pushing the envelope until Yuzu literally slaps her. and is like, knock it the fuck off. I want you, but not like this. Which is good because it's the truth. She doesn't want none of the fucking. She don't want none of the lady if she doesn't get the emotions behind it, I guess. So.
She has respect for herself. She's like, hey, don't use me as a toy. We both know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then
Yeah.
we have the next scene
Friends.
where they find out that basically Yuzu is confiding in her friend that she likes May, but she doesn't say it's May because she's not an idiot.
But the friend's not an idiot either. And it's putting two together.
Slowly.
Slowly.
And then she gets a call in the bottom left panel. She gets a call from her mom saying that their dad is leaving again already. Literally been less than 24 hours, my dudes. And of course, May's not going to be happy about this, but yeah. May doesn't even know. I don't know why. Fucking mom only called one of them, probably because she assumed they'd be together because they're always together.
And then she just kind of gropes her friend out of nowhere in pure excitement, which I thought was hilarious because like her hands barely like cover the boobs.
That's it. And she's just like, "Don't worry, I'm sure yours will grow soon." That's why one of the reasons I got this, because it was funny, but also it's relevant to the next scene, where after she finds out that their dad is leaving, she decides she has to go find May, because if May doesn't say bye to her dad, she's gonna be the exact same as she was.
Yeah, nothing gets really resolved.
Nothing gets resolved. There is no closure if she doesn't say goodbye to her dad. And if she wants to still be the one who runs the school, then she has to be the one to do that herself. Like, it has to be her decision. And it's not her decision if she is, if her dad's leaving forces it. So she goes and finds May, and and she steals Harumi's bicycle, which is this girl right here, Harumi. Steals it. Well, it doesn't steal it, borrows it. She says, "Hey, can I use it?" And she's just like, "Take it, go." And they're like, because she's a good friend. And so they rush to see her dad off, and they do. And they say bye. And then that night, she's like, well.
Oh, so before we continue, it's Harumi, isn't it? It's not Harmy, because there's a U in it.
It's Harumi.
Gotcha. But Harumi is best girl. But like this kiss scene was super cute in my opinion, because they're just like, "Oh wait, I can't thank you enough, Yuzu." And Yuzu's like, "We're sisters, no problem." And then this happens, and they're like, "Oh god."
And this is the first time. This is the first fucking time where they're actually kissing because they both want to be kissing each other. Every other scene prior to this, they're kissing because May wants to prove a point to Yuzu, or Yuzu wants to get back at May for trying to prove that point to her. This is the first scene where they kiss each other for the sake of kissing each other.
Which has tongue, by the way.
Which has tongue. Pretty considerable tongue.
Whoa, howdy do. This is getting intense. And then they're just like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And then Yuzu freezes up and just like goes to the corner of the bed. Which I was like, "Yuzu, no."
Yeah, I squealed pretty hard when I read this page. I was like,
right? I was about fucking time. They kissed for real this time.
Right?
So
it's not sexual harassment for the first time. We're only, 3 volumes in before 2 volumes in? I don't remember what volume this was of Citrus, I'll be honest.
At this point, it's just maybe Stockholm Syndrome, and Yuzu's just going with it.
Yeah, right?
And then May's just like processing it while Yuzu's freaking the wig out. And then the next scene, I don't know if he's kept it. There's this adorable scene where they're like eating lunch. And Yuzu and Arumi are like sharing food. Like Arumi's like hand feeding Yuzu or spoon feeding Yuzu food and stuff, and it's like the cutest shit I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite scenes. And then like I was like, "Isn't that indirect kissing?" And Izumi's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, so that was way earlier in the thing. That was not after this point.
Oh, like that's my favorite scene
She
of
tries to
this.
trick May into doing the same thing with her while they're out to see her dad as well.
I mean, he's like, "Eh." Like May knows, and then May like gets her like finger on her lips, and then like it's just like, "I'll have to taste for it for myself." And I was like, you little flirt."
Right.
But yeah, that's basically it, right?
Yeah, that's it for this manga after this point.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I was actually really happy with
Yeah,
it
come to
because
think
like
of it, we
finally
glossed
ends.
over the graveyard date quite a bit because on the way to the graveyard, they do like they go out to eat with each other, and that's where the whole indirect kiss remembering thing comes in. And she's like, "Oh, you should try some of can I try some of your waffle? Mine's really good." And she's like, "What? Huh?" Because her waffle was already gone. And then Yuz is like, "Well, I guess you could try some of mine." And she's like, "Okay, I will." And then wipes some off of her lips and pops the finger in her mouth, full
Yeah,
on Yuri style.
yeah, and I was like, "Ooh," and Yuzu's just like, "Oh my gosh, they noticed me finally," and yeah, a lot of different things happen, but yeah. Yeah, I like the waffle bit. That was actually really cute scene. I actually really appreciate it. And also, what do they want me to get like a waffle ice cream now?
I know, right?
All right, what do we want to talk about next?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about next? They're all good.
I guess we can pick One Punch because finally Bike Man. Finally
One
Bike Man here.
punch.
One Punch. Finally Bike Man. Bike Man's my favorite person of the fucking series. So I'm super jazzed because this is an introduction. And of course, it's Bike Man. So yeah. Bike Man's this guy who rides around his bike doing good deeds around the neighborhood and fights villains because he doesn't want to do it to get famous. He wants to do it to legitimately protect people. Like he like that's his only like motivation really.
Yeah. So, of course, we were talking about the Sea King, who comes
Yeah.
out of the sea, the king of the Sea Clan. Um, and he is kind of going on a rampage because a couple of his people were killed by heroes when they came up onto the land, and of course he's just wrecking fucking everything. So we
And
start
everyone.
out and everyone, and we
Yeah.
start out with the beginning where we left off last time. The Puri Puri prisoner hero is going to fight toe to toe with the Sea King. And this is
Jojo,
the
yeah.
reason why. Because he saw on the TV, on the news, that Stinger and Lightning Max, who struck his fancy, were injured. So he has to
Yeah.
avenge them.
Yes. Jojo Circus dude.
Yeah, JoJo Circus, dude.
Like that's all I see.
See, I always see, oh, what's his fucking name? Ginyu Force, the redhead in the Ginyu Force.
Oh my god, I kind of see it. Yeah. Okay.
Um, so especially in the next scene, because he's like, "Oh, I gotta do this because those two guys, they were so cute, and you beat them up." So then he goes full on Super Saiyan because he powers up, does his whole strength muscle thing, and he accidentally rips the sweater he's wearing, and he's like, "Ah, I ripped my boyfriend's hand woven sweater," and now then he has to and then he gets even angrier and gets even more buff until all of his clothes get shredded off.
Exactly. Which I was felt bad for him. I was like, "Oh, not the sweater," and then like that's gonna really suck. And then he's just like so horrified. It made my day. Honestly, I laughed at that scene. I was like, "Damn."
It was pretty great. Hold on, I gotta reorganize these.
And so his butt gets kicked. Then
Yeah.
all the other heroes' butts get kicked.
Well, first, in the middle of the fight, it starts to rain. And
Yeah.
apparently, like, the Sea King up to that point had just been like, a weakling compared to what he normally is, and then it starts to rain and he gets wet and he becomes this monstrosity. And he's not only is he stupid strong, but he is even faster than supersonic.
Which sucks for him.
Specifically sucks for supersonic pretty badly.
Supersonic gets wrecked.
Yeah, supersonic gets pretty badly wrecked. He gets hit. He only gets hit like once, and then he's like, "Okay, I can't do this without a weapon. I'm gonna go ahead and leave and go get a weapon and come back."
Yeah.
And so, in the meanwhile, a couple more heroes duke it out with this dude. Hold on, let me figure out which one I'm on. Should be this one. Yes, including
Bike Man.
Bike Man.
My favorite. I'm on my way. Stand up on a mode. Roar justice. Yes.
And
damn it, Bike Man.
basically his whole motif is that he's a normal fucking person who rides a bike, but when shit goes down, unlike everyone else who rides the fuck away, he doesn't. Yes. And that's why he's the top of C, because all of the C heroes are pretty much garbage. None of them have real powers. None of them have any kind of real strength. They're all pretty much just normal fucking people who decided they wanted to be heroes and wanted to make money by being a hero. And most of them aren't even they're not even super well paid. They have to run part-time jobs on the side, but they're all normal people anyway, so it's not like it matters. This guy's a delivery driver. He rides his bike to deliver things, and anytime, because he's all over the place, anytime he hears something, he actually goes out of his way to stop things. He's just a normal dude, but he knows how to ride his bike really well. And that's about the extent of his power.
Has a pure heart of gold.
Yeah, he has a pure heart of gold.
I'm going to cry now. Oh my god, Bike Man, you make me so happy. So pure. Like Deku pure. Almost, I think, purer than Deku. I don't know. It's a close tie. I'm gonna give Bike Man a little bit more pure. My theory is Bike Man is Deku's father and got into a different dimension, is now in this hell.
So then
my current theory.
So after that, after Bike Man is going there, and so is Saitama as well. He's on his way. Genos arrives, and Genos tries to fight. Hey, kitty. Genos tries to fight. Hi,
kitty.
Tries to fight the Sea King, and yes, the Pokemon Sea King, and he loses pretty badly. He's getting his ass kicked, and he's not landing many hits that are actually doing any damage. And finally, a little girl cheers for Genos because Genos is trying to defend the evacuation center and trying just basically to buy time for them to get away, the civilians to get away after the Sea King has killed 4 or 5 heroes that were also in the evacuation center. And the Sea King spits this acid at her, and Genos jumps in the way of it and takes the hit full on in the back, and it just absolutely wrecks him. It leaves him with no arms or legs. Makes him best girl, the huge.
Yeah, I cringed at this part.
Yeah, it's gory. There's a reason I only have this image from what happens to Genos.
Messed, spines, things are shown.
Yeah, you can see his spine. He's fucked up. If he wasn't a cyborg, he's dead. But he literally, none of his limbs are really his limbs. None of his body is really his body. He's 90-ish% robot. So as long as his head is alive, he's alive, basically. And that's a good thing, because otherwise he'd be dead right now.
I assume he can feel the pain, though.
Presumably. So then, after Genos gets fucking wrecked, fucking Bike Man shows up. Justice Crash, and fucking rides his bike, just whips his bike into him, basically. And the dude's just like, the fuck is wrong with you? So
That's all he had too, was that bike.
Yeah,
Like that's his only weapon.
that's
I
his
was
only
like, oh, Bike
thing.
Man, that's your only source of escape, Bike Man. What are you gonna do?
And so the Sea King basically hits him once, and he's out. Actually, no, he takes like 3 or 4 hits, which is
Yeah.
surprising because it's like the Sea King has been wrecking people. And Bike
Well, the
Man
Sea King
takes
I
like
think is
three or
gonna
four
die.
hits, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to die here. This is the coolest thing about Bike Man is he legitimately is like, I am going to die. There is no way in hell I survive this. I'm only a C-class hero, and I don't even really belong there. I am going to die in this fight. But if I can take one more hit, that's one more second that he's not moving on and killing the civilians behind me. So I'm going to
Yep.
keep standing up until I can't stand up anymore.
Exactly. That's why I love Bike Man. He literally is giving this dialogue to the Sand King. He's like declaring, he's like every second I can pull your attention away is a second these people can be safe. And if I can die knowing that it's worth the death. And I was like, damn, Bike Man, you're the best. I wish you had powers. Damn it. And then Sea King just is like, I honestly think Sea King pauses for a moment. I like to think he paused for that moment. It's just like,
I'm dealing with a fucking crazy person.
exactly. And he's just like, well, he wanted to die, and just like punches him, and then he's knocked out.
Yeah. And then, of course, he goes to drop the finishing blow, and who should show up in the last fucking second but fucking Saitama.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, I'm gonna go kill this sea freak. And the Sea King hits him in the back of the head, full fucking power. And he's just like, huh? He just like
Yeah.
turns around and he's like, Did you
Yes.
did you touch me? I don't know what happened here. And
I
of
really was
course,
like,
because he's fucking Saitama.
exactly. Like
He,
I honestly, I was gonna make a meme of this if I had time. I was gonna put chat like phone call, and then Tundra on the bottom going, and Tundra turning around going, new phone, who dis? Like just like it just doesn't even register really, truly. It just turns around going, what do you want?
yeah, and he's just like, oh, you want to fight? I got you. And he punches him in the fucking chest one fucking time and just shatters everything. And the Sea
Yep.
King is dead. GG. Fight's over. We can all go home.
Yeah, pretty much. And then all the civilians are kind of being a little shitty, quite honestly. Like, I understand why they were frustrated, but they're like, well, if it was that easy, why are all these heroes dead? Like, what is like the point in the like? They're just going on this fucking tangent. And
Yeah.
so Saitama, in response, because he knows like if he doesn't do something to stop it, like it's gonna pretty much like all the sacrifices these people made, it's just gonna go to waste. So he does like the most noblest thing, and he's just like out loud as he can. He's like, "Wow, he was really weak, and when I got here, good thing I came to finish off the blow. I didn't even,
I didn't
it
even
took
do
all,
basically anything.
yeah, like all that work was nothing." And let's just try and discredit what he did, so the other heroes are credited
Yeah, basically.
to maintain that order. And the only fucking people, the only like two real people that knows what's up is Cyborg Dude and Bike Man. Because I think, because like Bike Man, like I think Bike Man regains conscience at that point and knows what's up.
Yeah. And then all the
Like
other heroes are like taken to the hospital except the ones who died. And then
exactly, and then people
there
are
was
safe.
this cute little outro in the volume, which I thought was hilarious. It's just Saitama, and Genos wants to see, asks Saitama if he can show him any tricks, and this is just how
Oh
he
yeah,
responds.
yes, the thumb thing, yes.
And this one's at the beginning of the manga, and then at the end of the manga, it's just like, "Let me show you, master. I have mastered the magic trick you showed me earlier." And Genos just removes his thumb because it literally comes off because he's a cyborg.
Yes, and, and sometimes like that's not what I meant. And then it's just like so cute. It makes me so happy.
All right, so that was it for One Punch. Other than the fact that Saitama gets upgraded to Class B after this incident. The bottom of Class B.
Yep. And Cyborg also gets upgraded, isn't he?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Genos was already in Class S, so.
Oh yeah, which is so fucked.
Yeah, admittedly, part of that is because Saitama doesn't fucking like he does absolutely terrible in the written portion. Saitama is the opposite of Mineta from BNHA, in that Mineta only gets in because he aces the written portion, even though he's absolutely worthless in the actual physical exam. Saitama's the opposite. He's a god in the physical exam and beats every fucking record they have, but absolutely fails every question on the written exam. So they basically, so they were like, we're assuming that because he's such a fucking idiot, that somewhere on the lines these physical tests were a fluke, and that's the only way he was able to pass. It wasn't because he actually did anything right. He just was able to do this shit this one time.
Which is still bull in my opinion, because there were people there actually visually seeing what he was doing. So I was like, I know, I know they did it just for the struggle, but I was still like, the task proctors visually confirm it.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it is part of the story, because it's like kind of the whole thing is that he's the most powerful hero while having to start at the very, 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 very bottom and be treated like somebody at the bottom, even though he doesn't deserve to be.
I guess that's fair, because
like that's the thing is because like the only reason he had to give credit to all the other heroes for like weakening the monster and shit like that is because he's a C-class hero, everyone assumes that he's fucking worthless. So even though he is like a god when it comes to power, everyone else assumes he's worthless, so he has to like act like he's worthless as he works his way up the ranks until he's a high enough rank that even though he's been a god the whole fucking time, he can actually act like that fact is true.
That's true. Which I appreciate that. Okay, so what are we reading next?
After One Punch, we could do... God, they're all good.
Let's do Slime Monster.
Reincarnated as a slime?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have much in the way of pictures for this one. Because
things fucking happen.
Things do fucking happen.
We were basically prepped for going into the war with the orcs, because orcs were starting to gather and stuff, and they made it basically the Dryad.
Orc Lord.
The Orc Lord and the orcs basically were hunting around, and it was up to Slime Dude to basically rectify the problem and made a contract with the Forest Queen Dryad Lady to help stop it. So he goes basically with the lizard people and figures out what's going on, like what's going on with this, and basically confronts the Orc Lord dude. And surprise, surprise, Orc Lord dude gets wrecked.
Yeah, pretty much. They fight Orc Lord. Well, okay, so the first thing that happens before even the Orc Lord fight is that we're reintroduced to Gelmood, the magician that is fucking everything up, basically. And he's like a half-assed magician. He doesn't do anything right. He doesn't actually win fights. He doesn't actually have the power to evolve people when he names them. He just can name them. And basically Soe traps him in his bindings, his wire bindings, and Shion's like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. And basically takes his head clean off. And then after killing him, the Orc Lord eats him. Which isn't ideal, because then the Orc Lord's way more powerful than he had any right to be at the beginning of this fight. Like, this is how powerful he is. So after eating Gelmood, he evolves into a demon lord. Not just an Orc Lord, but an Orc disaster demon lord.
Yep.
Named Geld, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and becomes a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah. At this point, Benimaru literally cuts his head clean off, and he just puts it back on.
Yeah. So basically, Slime Dude steps in because obviously he's regenerating, and no one can really stop him at this point except for him. And does this great sage mode thing, and basically sees his sins and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
Whoa, 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 whoa. Next thing that happens is the slime dude realizes that he can apparently transfer control of his body over to the Great Sage skill, which is basically like the computer voice in his head that tells him what his abilities do. And so this Great Sage can take over and use the special power, the powers, in ways that he wouldn't think of himself. And they fight, and it doesn't go well for Slime Dude at all. Rimuru gets his ass effectively handed to him. Like, he doesn't get hit, but he doesn't do any real damage either. He cuts off Geld's arm, and Geld just eats it, and then he regenerates it, and then he cuts off Geld's arm again, only this time with fire attached to the blade. So then, like, the fire is constantly burning at the wound, so it can't be regenerated. So he just rips off the rest of his fucking arm, eats it, and then regenerates it. Like, he just does not give a shit. Geld is way too fucking powerful for Rimuru to do anything with conventional weaponry or abilities.
Yeah.
So then he tricks Geld into getting into direct physical contact with him during combat. And the reason he does this is because he realizes the only way he's going to win this fight is to eat Geld. So he does, essentially. He does that while they're inside. Like, he basically creates multiple fronts that Geld has to fight on. He separates part of his body into a clone that begins to try to eat Geld. And while that clone is eating Geld, he casts, like, a fire spell around Geld. So Geld has to focus on defense against the fire spell. Otherwise, he's just going to be burnt to a crisp because it's, like, super intense fire.
Which is really intelligent on his move. I was actually really impressed with the strategy on this one. I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not powerful to be powerful. He's actually, like, doing things with his powers.
Yeah, because Geld has to focus on multiple fronts, he loses on both. So the fire weakens him, and then because the fire has weakened him so much, he loses on the second front and gets devoured by Rimuru. And after Rimuru devours him, he's able to interact with him, just like he can interact with Ifrit. And just like he can interact with Veldora, he can now interact with Geld in his own mind. And he basically said he gains Geld's memories, and he understands that the only reason Geld is doing this is because he grew up in an orc village where all the orcs are starving to death. He's the leader of this village where there are children who are literally being born and dying 4 or 5 days later because their mother can't even produce enough breast milk to feed them because their mother is starving as well and doesn't have the calories to even produce breast milk. So literally, his people are completely starving to death. And when he runs into Gelmood is like, I'll give you a way out of this. And really, what other options did the orcs have? They can starve to death, or they can use this power that Gelmood is offering them in order to stave off the starvation a little while until maybe commit some atrocities in the process, but they weren't told that. Gelmood was manipulating them.
Yeah. Which really sucked, because, like, this whole time you're thinking, oh, bad guy, just be bad guy, and then this happens, and you have to think, like, they're pretty conscious of what they're doing, but, like, so they're in constant war with themselves. Like, they're like, at one hand, this is terrible what I'm doing, but, like, I have to think about my, like, these kids, everyone. Like, I have to do this to survive. Yeah.
Basically, they had to make the pact. They didn't have a choice, and because they didn't have a choice, and after that point, they literally didn't have a choice, because the downside of the starved magic was that the starved magic made it so that they didn't. If they ate something, they'd gain whatever powers it had on a random chance, and if they were hungry, thank you for the bits, Retro.
Thank you for the bits.
If they were they would always be hungry. They would never starve to death because they'd always be eating everything they came to, but they would always feel like they were starving to death.
Yeah, and like they're trapped within their own bodies. Like they know what's going on. They have literally no choice.
Well, they weren't trapped. They were functional, but they were at a point where they were so starved and feeling so hungry because of the way the magic affected them that they kind of like regressed into lesser beasts, which orcs aren't that smart to begin with. Um so then afterwards, Rimuru basically says to Geld, like, I understand what you've done. I understand why you've done it. Part of me eating you is that I take on your sins myself.
Yeah.
And he basically, afterwards, he says to the Kirin, which are the ogres that the orcs had killed their whole village. He basically says, like, hey, if you have a problem with the orcs are part of us now. They didn't have a choice in the matter. If you have a problem with them, you have a problem with me. If you want to discuss it, now's the time to.
And the Karen are pretty much like, we follow you. You saved us. What you're judged. You're like, basically, you're the one that won this war. And the real, like, the law of the monsters are the strongest thrive.
Yeah.
Type thing, and that's what they're going along with it. And he was expecting more of a fight because he was a human, so like humans, you know how we are, we like to complicate things when it doesn't need to be complicated. So he was like, oh, okay, this is a lot easier than I thought. And then the fairy girl kind of like puts a lot of shit on him. Actually, she's just like, oh, you're now the high chancellor of the council of this peace thing. And he's like, I didn't ask for this title.
This basically just becomes like a summit of a peace summit, and he basically is the one who has to lead the peace summit, mostly because he's the one who has the power to do so.
Yeah, like I understand why she's doing it, but at the same time, she didn't really talk to him. She's just like, but makes all these declarations, and then he like talks, and then like he devises a plan of what we're gonna do with the orcs, because there's 150,000 orcs at this point, and it's like if we let them go, it's gonna be like back to square one.
Yeah.
So we need to actually know what to do to fix this problem. So he advised a plan where he's going to split the orcs up into groups at different villages, and they're going to essentially learn skills and do labor work. In return, they're going to earn their keep. In return, they're going to get housing and food.
Yeah, and coincidentally, the orcs are super fucking good at everything they do, and they learn relatively quickly. So it actually works out really fucking well. And the goal is, once the orcs are able to be functional enough at doing their stuff and have earned enough wealth from working for the other villages, that they should be able to recreate their own village if they want to, in order to have a place where they all live together, because they'll be able to support it.
Actually, I felt really bad for the orcs because they were like begging. They're like, at the beginning, they were kind of fighting why they didn't get a punishment. And then like the slime dude was explaining to him, like you were just doing what you needed to survive. Like if you really want to make it up to me and like atone for your sins, you're gonna put in the work to do it.
And there's one orc specifically that is like the second in command, or was second in command while Geld was still alive. And it turns out this orc is actually Geld's son from before he became the orc lord. And Rimuru names him Geld and makes him effectively the orc lord, the orc king, and is basically like, and he goes to the Kirin, and he's basically like, look, I understand. There is no way, if I were in your shoes, I would trust me, be willing to work with me, or want anything but vengeance against me. I ask that you take my head in payment for my people's sins.
Yeah, and then the dude who's listening to all this is like, no can do. I serve my master who has granted your sins. If I were to attack you, it would be in like risk like a good potential alliance.
It's not even that. He doesn't even think about it at that level. He's just like, look, we work for the same dude now. If you want to repay me, you can repay me by doing a good job working for the same person I'm working for.
He's also like putting in a strategic, because he's like now the battle military manager dude, military wise. So yeah, like he comes at it from like okay, you can repay me by working hard, to also you're an ally now. If I attack you, like that fucks this whole thing up for my master. Like it doesn't make sense. So as long as you continue being good work for my master, we will be allies. is his whole point. And then the dryad lady, to kind of help solve the hunger problem, is also like, I'll ask the forest spirits to make sure there's a plenty, like splendid bounty,
Yeah,
which means she's gonna
the
make a shit ton of
Trents.
food.
Yeah, she goes to talk to the Trants, so that way they have enough food. In the meanwhile, while they wait for like the additional orc labor to actually have like bring in additional food.
Yeah, which is legit. It works super well. Even the lizard people are like, they were also the ones that suffered too, and they're pretty much like, it sucks, but like, those are, it's the law of the land. Strongest wins. We're not gonna like question it. And they go back basically to the leader and tells the leader what happened, and the prince gets exiled because basically the prince did insult the slime guy and kind of was questioning, trying to like ruin some things for them. So he gets exiled, but then like the father basically wants his son to learn, like find his own path and stuff, and gives him like this rare item, something like a staff or it was like a sword or something, and he goes on his own adventures. Kinda. It
God,
was
that
like,
was this whole fucking volume was super heavy.
yeah, there was a lot that happened, and then the slime dude was still pretty much in the charge of everything, and that's kind of where it ends, right?
Pretty much.
My throat's messed up. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right. Do you want me to mute you for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, are you back?
No, hold on.
Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, that's what she's doing. That was what that noise you all heard was. That was her pouring water. Nothing, I'm just fucking with you. They can't hear you, they can hear me. I've temporarily muted her to the stream to all of you guys so you guys don't hear her peeing on stream. I'm just fucking. Alright, let me know when I can unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted.
You jerk. You jerk bag. I wasn't peeing. Stop it. It was really mean. I guess we can do Cherry Boy meets Cherry Girl next.
Okay, that's actually what I was kind of thinking was that should be the next one.
Okay.
All right, Bigata HK.
So as we were talking about last week, basically this whole manga is based off this girl who's like a sophomore or junior or freshman in high school. And basically she wants to lose her virginity and sleep with 100 guys because there's no other reason. That's just what she wants to do.
Yeah, just because. There's no other reason. Don't look any deeper into it.
There's really not. And she's like really conceited. She's like, oh, I'm pretty, I'm cute, I got flawless skin, blah, 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 blah.
Not incorrect.
And basically her best friend, who I love her best friend, who tries to put sense into her. She just like talks to her friend about all the boys she wants to do. And her friend's like, you should slow it down a little bit there.
Yeah. So this is the male love interest and the best friend on the right. So, yeah. Oh wait, I have
she runs into him at the store, basically, or into school, but basically runs into him in the store. And as they're talking about the whole, I need to find a boy who isn't experienced, somebody that I wouldn't mind, screwing and leaving. And literally runs into him, and he just gets all flustered. And then she literally asks him, like, "Are you a cherry boy?" And he's just so horrified. And it's just like, oh my god, why would you, like, her best friend is literally like my monologue most of the time because she's like, why would you ask someone that?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then basically he's just like, what the most popular girl in school is talking to me, and just gets all flustered and cute. And so basically, she's trying to not really woo him. She's like trying to basically have sex with him, but like doesn't say so. Like she's like doing all these schemes to
Yeah.
get him to kiss her and touch her, and like 99% of her problems would be solved if she just legit walked up to him saying, "Hey, I want to bang," and that's it. Are you game? like like it would have been all avoided. But no, she's like does all these complicated situations.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny actually.
Yeah. At first, she falls on him at the library, and she's just like, "Oh, he's perfect." Like, it's so dumb. That's how she decides. She's like, "Oh, he looks inexperienced. Let's fuck him first."
Yeah, pretty much. And her friend's like, that's not how you should like approach people. And like her friend's the voice of reason, and her friend also has a boyfriend who's adorable, but that's in later chapters.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't
And
worry, I have it on here.
and so basically he tries to have like an actual normal like interaction with her, but it's also awkward about it. Like he takes her out to photography and like they do stuff together, and there's like a situation where they basically kiss. Like they finally kiss at some point, but it's
Okay,
tongue.
we're going way too fast. Like, I have tons of reference. There's no reason to run the story like this.
Oh, sorry. You can go on then.
Okay, so then she decides, "Oh, I'm gonna seduce him by showing him my tatas,"
Mm-hmm.
and she just pushes him into a fucking closet and is like, "Here, look at my boobs." That doesn't go
Yeah.
well. Then she goes home, fucking touches herself to the memory of it.
Doesn't really like she freaks out.
No, she literally does. Bottom left panel.
Embarrassed. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
But I was so turned on, and in the end, I did H stuff alone.
Oh, never mind. And yeah, that happens. And he basically is like, "What? Did I just get flashed? Oh my god, I just got flashed. I just saw boobs."
Yeah, basically, he's like, "What the fuck?" And then, next thing that happens, the first entrance of a challenger.
The best girl.
Best girl. Because again, glasses, big boobs. Starting to think
She
I have a
also
type.
she's really sweet and actually cares about him and is actually fucking normal.
Yeah, she's normal. Normal is a word to describe Miyu.
Like she's shy, but like she actually talks to him like he's a person.
She's super Dandere.
Yeah. And goes over and like cooks some meals and bakes for him. Like she's so adorable. And then she's just like my rival. And
Yeah,
like
we
the
still
other
have more
girl,
introductions
my
before.
rival.
We still have more introductions. Calm down. All right, so then we get introduced to Yamada's sister, who is, I don't know, I can't tell. And again, me and Katie have both watched the anime. Um, in the anime, she's portrayed as
A middle schooler.
a middle schooler who's like just a normal fucking middle school girl who's pretty, but not like. I mean, she's super fucking pretty. That's the way the both portray her. But the manga portrays her as a total fucking slut.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
every time she comes home, she has a different guy on her arm, and then her sister's like, "Oh, I can hear them fucking in their room."
Yeah, which I'm really like, where are their parents? Like I don't mind it, but like do their parents not care either? Are they like as long as they're safe? Like like this is Japan.
Yeah.
Like now lately they've been cool about it, but
So then, additionally to this, we get the scene where Yamada's like, "Oh, I need you to stroke my belly because it doesn't feel good. I need your help." And he's just like, what?"
yeah.
Brain has shut. Windows error sound.
Multiple Windows errors, like burp, 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 like just doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Which I don't blame him because like imagine someone coming up to me like some girl going like, "Hey, my belly doesn't feel well. Will you rub it?" Like you're just minding your own business.
And she just pulls her shirt up a little higher till it shows boobs. And he's just
Yeah.
like, is she asking me to touch them? And she's finally like, just touch them. And he just runs away. I'll call the doctor.
Yeah, pretty much as I start touching her stomach, and they're like, "Finally," I was like, "Finally, they're gonna get to it," and then he's like, "Okay, I can't do it."
So then I don't remember how, but he ends up inviting her to his house. And she comes over. And she's like,
And the
yes, this
sister,
is perfect.
the sister.
Don't
is the
worry, I
best.
might have missed the sister introduction. I'll probably have a different one in a few minutes. Yeah.
His sister's like the best wing woman.
Yeah,
Like,
his
holy
sister just
shit.
tried. Well, okay, aside from the fact that his sister knows nothing about girls because she is barely a girl herself.
There. But still, it's just like, oh, I leave you two alone.
Yeah,
It
and
just is like
calls
weird.
their mom and is like, "Don't come home. I'm coming to
Yeah.
meet you. We got things we got to go do. I need your help."
Yeah. Like, fucking wings it. I was like, that's actually like the best sibling relationship I've ever fucking seen in a good long while. I was like, kudos. And he's just like, oh, okay, we got the home to ourselves. And she's just being a freak still and is
Whoop.
overthinking every little thing. Like, oh, how do I look sexy? Oh, how do I position myself? Just like overthinks everything.
She's just about to kiss him, and then she sees that he has a boner, and she's like, "Oh God, why?"
Yeah, just gets horrified. She's like, what is that? I was like,
I
it's
was
what
like,
you
"That's
wanted.
what you're trying to get." Hello, wake the fuck up.
You don't know what you don't know what like a dick is? Like, you know what sex is, right? But you don't know what a dick like I was just like, oh my god. And she's like, it was scary, I'm gonna run away, and just like runs. And this poor dude is just left hanging.
Yeah,
She, yeah.
just like what the fuck.
Yeah.
So
So
then
he's there.
they introduce they for some reason her friend and her decide because at this point her friend is for some reason helping her, but at the same time she's like, this is a terrible fucking idea, but I'm helping you anyway. So she invites him to go with her, Yamada, and her boyfriend to the pool.
Yeah. Best boy. Her boyfriend. Best
Yeah.
friend's boyfriend's best boy. Oh my god, I love him. Because he knows what's going on and he's just like just treats everyone the same still. Like he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Like he loves the best friend. Like he loves his girlfriend, even though her best friend, who they hang out a lot with, is a total freak, and is just like super nice to her and her best friend, and like respects them. Like I appreciate this dude, and so like basically, like the best friend's like, look, you need to stop with the sex stuff. Just be normal for once. Treat this like a date. If you don't want to be a date, it's a hangout, but you need to be like chill about it. And the girl's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm normal.
Yeah. Except she isn't. So
Yeah,
then
no.
next scene, they go to a amusement park together right after the pool. So they Yamada wears a yukata, which let's be real. Sure, they leave everything to the imagination, but damn, do girls look good in yukatas?
Like it's a lot of hours to put those things on, but like I've always wanted to try one. I think it would be
If you
fun to
learned
just
how to properly tie an obi, it doesn't take that long. I mean, it's still like 30, 40 minutes, which is still longer than anybody take. Well, okay, most girls take longer than that to get dressed. So,
so
frankly,
it takes a while from like okay, I don't spend that much time on my clothes, so that's why to me like it takes forever. But then like so they're just vibing and having fun, and the best friend's trying to be nice and be like telling him like, hey, you need to like hit on her, like she wants you to hold her hand, she wants you to do these things, and he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, for God's sakes, yes.
yes. And then we have a reintroduction, more of an official reintroduction to Best Girl, also Best Rival. Because, god damn it, I hate Yamada.
Right? I was not like I thought I was like, oh, she's funny. Maybe she'll finally chill out. No, she never chills out for the whole time. And just kind of after him just to be after him at this point. And then Best Girl's like, I'm actually in love with him. Like I value his feelings.
Yeah, Best Girl's like, oh, he's been around me forever. We're gonna get married someday because that's how this works.
Yeah.
I love
And
how
Yamada's
I love how this is a common theme. So, do you understand why the childhood friend thing is a common theme in like almost all anime. Do you understand what the cultural significance of that is?
No.
So basically, the concept is that you'd introduce your kids who knew because you're friends with this other family.
Yeah.
You're friends with with this other family, and they have a kid who's the opposite gender of the kid you have, and they're about the same age. So you'd introduce them with the idea that they'd become best friends because they're kids and they interact with each other, and then
They'll get
um
married.
no, not just they'll get married. That you would literally fucking arrange their marriage,
Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
that's why it is the trope that, if you've ever noticed, have you ever seen the childhood friend trope character ever
Yes.
end up with the main character?
Nope.
No,
One
because
time. One manga.
what?
One time.
I'm curious because I've never seen this happen.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh yeah, Winry. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Winry and Ed do actually end up together at the end. But in all of the ones that aren't that, um they don't end up together. And the reason is because the idea is they're subverting the concept of the arranged marriage. The idea is that these two people are meant to get married 100%, so we can never actually let them get married,
I know.
which
Which makes me
sucks.
really upset because I want them to get married and have cute little babies, but they're not going to. It makes me sad. But so as this progresses, like she's full on like trying to figure out what this girl's deal is with him.
Oh god, this is the best part when
Stalks
when
them.
she tries to figure it out. Hold on, they're not going to the house yet. They will. Don't worry, I have that too, but they aren't going yet. First,
No,
this
talks to her
happens.
basically, and it's like, "What is so scared of you?" And she's like, "Oh, there, he's my childhood friend." And then like, well, is there more to it? And then she's just like, "Oh yes, I like liked him," and like has this epiphany because of her.
No, she doesn't say that she likes him. She just says, "You gave him." She's like, no, no, nothing's up." And she's like, "I saw it. You gave him cookies." And she's just, and Miyano's just like, "Yeah, but the cookies are all he's interested in." And Yamada's just like, he wouldn't accept cookies from someone he hated. And Miyano's like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. He does love me." And Yamada's like, "I've just gave fucking love advice to the person that is trying to fucking date the guy I want to be with." Fuck.
And then she's just like, this whole time, like she's in the sentence. I love the sentence, like, "Oh, I thought it would be hard to approach you since you're such a beauty, but you're so kind." Basically, that's low key today. Well, I thought you were kind of a popular bitch, but because you're pretty and you're obnoxious, but like, you're actually really kind. Like that's like to me what that code word is, girl to girl, for real. When girls are saying stuff like that to you, 99% of the time it's that. In her case, it's not, but like 99% of the other girls, that's what that means.
Here's the best part.
Girl to girls.
My favorite part about why Miyano likes, what's his fucking name again?
Sosuke.
Kosuke, yeah. The reason why Miyano likes Kosuke is because when she was little, she was being bullied by a couple of guys, and a boy came up to her and knocked the shit out of both the guys and made them
Yeah.
leave, made them run away. And ever since then, and told her that his name was Kosuke. Ever
Yeah.
since then, she has thought that this Kosuke is the one that saved her. In actuality, it was not this Kosuke, it was his sister, dressing and looking like a boy.
Yes. Which is amazing. Which makes
Which,
me so feel so bad for her, but at the same time, it's like damn. But no, basically because of this, Yamada gets riled the fuck up because instead of be like, "Oh, she likes them. I should just respect it and be fucking normal." I'm gonna stalk her. I'm gonna stalk her. I'm gonna stalk him. I'm gonna stalk whoever I need to stalk to get the information I need.
yeah. So she goes to the house and sees them interacting, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, she must like him." And he's a dense idiot because he's the main character of a harem anime. So goes with the territory.
Yeah, and then I think the sister finds out she's there because like the sister's kind of like I
Yeah, the
think the
sister
sister
runs
sees
into
her.
her, and then this is the aftermath of that right here, where the sister is asked by Yamada, "Hey, does does Miyano like Kosuda?" And she's like, "Oh, I gotta ask. I guess we'll ask." Mayu, how do you feel about Takashi? Um, I don't know. And this is where right after this you get the flashback of the
Yeah,
the boy, quote unquote, saving her.
yeah, and then if Yamada just shut the fuck up and let things proceed, like she wouldn't have this rival. Honestly,
Pretty much. So then there's a school carnival festival, and they do a horror house, haunted house, whatever. God, I can't
yeah,
talk tonight. And she's a ghost, and she tries to convince her friend to bring Kosuda over, and she's like, "Oh, perfect. I'll latch onto him and kiss him right here in the dark." And it just happens to be her best friend because she couldn't find Kosuda.
yeah, and her best friend's like, "It's me, you freak." She's like, "Oh god, you were MS Mike first," and she's like, "Get the fuck off me."
Yeah, in the anime, it's almost your first. In the manga, they actually kiss.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. It's pretty great. I love these two together, actually. And so she's like all disappointed and tries to go track down Kosuda, essentially, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Kosuda's got things going on currently.
Yeah. And so next scene, because in case you guys haven't noticed, this manga's in 4 coma format, which is the here. Let me kind of explain. You read this manga instead of here, then here, then here, then here. You read this manga from top to bottom, starting in the right column, and then you jump to the left column and read it from top to bottom that way. And this format, each chapter is maybe 5 pages long of this right here. This is 1 page entirely right here. It's just 2 short strips. Most of the time, each chapter is incredibly short and very little detail happens, but there's a lot of content across multiple chapters.
So that's how you read the style. So in case you guys get confused,
Yeah.
because
But more
yeah,
important than how you read this style is the style is kind of like the equivalent, usually used in the equivalent of like Friends, the TV show. I, of course, named a show that literally stopped airing 10 years before any of our audience was born. But that being said, any show, it has very little continuity, but it has an overarching story is kind of the concept. So
yeah.
each of the individual chapters can be read in very close to any order.
So yeah, essentially, like you can read these stories almost in order, but like you might be confused on the progress so far of her. Like there's certain bits like characters get introduced and like you get confused. So I recommend just reading in order anyway.
Yeah, like
To avoid
if you
confusion.
start in a very late season of Friends, you might be confused as to why Chandler and Monica
Yeah.
are married when they haven't gotten married the last time you saw an episode. But realistically, everything else about the episode and every joke about the episode and the episode in a self-contained bubble is fine by itself.
So essentially, like after this, Kosuke or what is Kosuke doing? Is he at the photography club? What is he?
So the next scene we have, so of course this is why I mentioned the whole 4 coma format, is because the next scene is totally off in left field. We're now doing a beauty pageant contest, and another rival has entered the scene.
Oh yeah, this weird girl.
Yeah, yeah. Let's not
Ooh,
talk about what
weirder than
we
him.
know about her because it does get
Yeah.
really funky really quick.
Yeah. I'm glad you're doing good, Moxie. Okay, so essentially she just like transfers in or whatever, and they're ranking them based off who's prettiest and cutest and stuff. And it's a close call between her and Yamada, like very dead close. But Yamada just is able to pull through
Yeah,
and
just
wins the beauty
barely.
pageant.
It just barely wins the beauty pageant, which then pretty much makes it so this new girl who just transferred in, which I don't think we were even given her name
No,
yet,
not really.
is now like very much, I have to get back at Yamada because I can't lose a beauty pageant. I'm the most beautiful. Basically a psychopath, and believe me, that just devolves further from there.
Yeah, it does.
But
Like,
I'm sure we'll come back to it at a later episode.
So Yamada is just like, oh, Cherry Boy has to want to sleep with me now.
Yeah, so she rushes off and is like, "Hey, let's go out on a date," and they do, and she finally manages to actually kiss him, and of course throws tongue in there because why not?
Yeah, and he's just left like, what the fuck? Because she runs off like usual.
Yeah, like usual. Afterwards, she like leads him to a hotel, to a love hotel district, and then he's like, "Oh, I think we've gone the wrong way." And then she's like, "Let's do this. This is perfect." And then she, right after kissing him, she's like, "I need to leave. I need to run the fuck away."
And then he's just like, I'll follow you forever, Yamada, because I'm a Cherry Boy and you were my first kiss.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah
And
blah.
yeah, pretty much. And that's basically how it ends, this whole thing.
Okay, so I gotta talk to you real quick. This is what the fuck is this manga? Am I the only one who just fucking hates the main character as like a person in general?
Oh, I hate her as a person. She's a garbage person. She basically doesn't gives any shit about his feelings whatsoever, or anyone's feelings really. She's just like, I'm gonna do the fuck I want, regardless who gets hurt, how they're feeling. We're just gonna do this. I'm gonna play all these mind games. I'm gonna do all this shit, and consequences be damned.
Yeah, because she comes off as like using everyone around her. And everyone around her is just like, "Oh, I know she's using me, but she's my friend anyway."
Yeah, like the best friend. I was really disappointed with the best friend, because if I was her best friend and like it would be getting old, I would be like, okay, you need to stop this or we're not gonna be friends anymore, because I'm not gonna condole your like behavior.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
And like the best friend like is just like, oh, maybe you have a crush on him, is trying to like morph it into it being an okay situation, when really it's not, because that's not what Yamada's like motivation was. Yamada's motivation is just to get banged, just to get banged.
Yeah. Admittedly, I think it's pretty clear from what we've seen so far that more than likely she is probably going to develop feelings for him at some point down the road, whether she realizes it or is willing to admit it or not.
I just want him more than ever to be like, hey, I'm not a piece of meat. And just be like, come back to me when you actually have real feelings. And she's like, I do have real feelings.
When you have emotions, you bitch.
Yeah. Like, that's what I want to see in this type of anime. Like, I know it's not going to happen. That's all I want. I just want the main character boy to be like, hey, I have feelings too, you fucking asshole. And just like stands his ground.
Right. It would be lovely if he does. Or, for the love of God, just fucking ignore her and date the new girl, the girl who lost the beauty pageant just barely, or fucking Miyano, because Miyano's cute.
Miyano, she's nice. She actually cares about him.
Yeah, she cooks for him.
She makes him cookies. Like, if cookies aren't enough for you, what is, man?
Right. All right.
What's next on the list?
We have so many. Throw a dart at a dartboard. If it lands in the trash, we move to France.
Wow. Or in this case,
God, I want to do Nisekoi next.
All right, let's do.
I want to save I want to save real life for last, so I think we should do. I want to do Nisekoi next.
We can do that.
Okay. So the first things first, we had this episode is great. This whole volume is great. So it very much starts off right from the get go with where we left off last time of uh Raku. That's his name. God, so many main characters and so many harem mangas all at once, and I can never remember their names. Probably because they're all basically the same fucking character. But Raku is on a date with this girl who says she's the girl he made a promise with so many years ago. And he believes her, for starters. And he's like, oh, we gotta. I want to know more information. And she's like, okay, then you break up. That was where it ended last time. It was, okay, if you want more information, then you got to break up with your girlfriend for me.
She's so cute.
And wait, what? You're just like, oh, the manipulative blackmailing bitch is so cute.
Like the fiance, she's adorable.
She is adorable, especially for this reason, because when he's like, all right, I am not going to do that. I guess I just will totally not remember you. And this is her reaction to that.
I love it so much. She's just like, I imagine a southern drawl.
Yes.
She's trying to talk, proper. And then she's like, you're going to gone, forget about me.
Yes, that is exactly what they're going for here. She's from the South. As we've discussed in past episodes, that is the stereotype of people from southern Japan, is that they talk with a similar accent in their version of Japanese as we do in the south end of the United States.
Is what made the character for me. Don't tell me you done gone, and completely forgot about me. I know you ain't telling me you done totally forgot about me. I've been carrying around memories of you for 10 years, and you're telling me you done totally forgot about me? Reiki, you told me you liked long hair, so I grew my long hair and learned to talk proper like. I worked hard at it. You're telling me you done totally forgot about me? And he's just like, wait, this accent.
And he's
I
just like,
remember you.
Yeah, exactly. She fucking breaks character finally, and she's just like, and he's just like, wait a second. I fucking know who you are. Mary? Yeah. Or Mari? Really?
Mari. And then she kind of laughs it off / cries it off because she's like, I tried so hard to be proper, and the one thing you remember is the one thing I tried so hard to erase.
To erase, yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
Let me see. I gotta make sure these are in relative order real fast.
I also like her hairstyle.
Yes, her hair is super cute. She's cute in general. That is a trait of this character. Because, yeah, immediately after this, he's like, wait, I do remember you. And she's like, wait, what? Also, she, her thing that she has going on is she has, like, some sort of disorder where she's super frail constitution.
Yeah, she gets sick a lot.
She gets sick really easily and is really weak. Basically, because I don't think we're going to come back to this, surprisingly. The story is that while he was friends with Onodera and Kurosaki when they were little, he was also occasionally sneaking into this girl's room because she was in the hospital at the same place where he was vacationing with his dad, and the same place Kurosaki and Onodera were also on vacation.
Yeah.
They were all visiting the same place at the same time for a week. They were all spending the time together. When Raku wasn't hanging out with Kurosaki and Onodera, he was sneaking into this girl's room because she wasn't allowed to leave her hospital room, and he didn't think that was okay. So he'd bring her special presents and things like that from the outside world. That's why she's fallen in love with him. Because he, to her, represents everything she can't have in life because of her disorder.
Yeah, and now it's revealed that basically they all hung around each other during the summer.
This girl was not present for that, though. She does not know Kurosaki or Onodera. She only knows Raku, and Raku is the only one who knows her.
Honestly, what I think would happen was Star Butterfly Girl and Best Girl were all like, let's run a friendship club and have necklaces with your lock. And he wanted her to be included in the best friend club. So he got her a necklace too. And all three girls just happened to fall in love with him in the process.
I think all the keys open the fucking lock. That's my running theory, is that
Yeah.
all three keys will open the fucking lock, and it just depends on who he chooses.
Yep.
So anyways, next thing we have, this week is nothing but Best Girl. Kirasaki basically doesn't exist at all in this fucking thing. It goes
Which is
from
nice.
this Best Girl back to the other Best Girl. Actually, okay, that's not true. Kirasaki has quite a bit of a scene in like this whole second half of the volume is nothing but Kirasaki. But for now, we get the opportunity where where Onodera is where Onodera's friend is like, you don't have the guts to ask Raku to do anything with you. And she's just like, well, you think that, but I asked him to come over tomorrow and hang out with me at my house. And this is just her response.
Yep. Yep. And I was like, yes. Yes. And the girl's just like, oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. What is happening here? So, Onodera lives above a sweets shop. Basically not like a candy store, but like a legitimate,
like a bakery.
Like no, like a legitimate, like high-end sweets shop. Like think
right.
like chocolates, fudges, the high-end sweets that cost like $18-19 per half pound, those kind of sweets.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I'm used to Japan with sweets and bakery. So like that's why I just assumed it was.
Yeah, it's not a bakery. It's a gourmet classical Japanese sweets shop. And so her mom runs the place, and the reason why she invited Raku over is because he knows how to cook. He's the only person she knows who knows how to cook, and they need help because one of their people had to take the day off last minute. And her mom's like, you've got to be retarded. There's no way you know what you're doing. I'm not going to let you in my frickin' kitchen unless you prove that you know what you're doing. And then he does, because apparently because he decided like, oh, if I'm going over there, I should probably brush up on how to do Japanese sweets. So he has a decent idea and he's a good cook. So, which is kind of like a running thing. The best girls are always bad fucking cooks, and the MC in harems always knows how to cook super well. So he basically comes over, cooks really well, and her mom is like, oh, you are more than welcome to marry my daughter.
Yeah, pretty much like, I want you in my business. Come work for me, son. Just like hints this hard, by the way. Which is nice, because I like how Raku, even though he's a fucking idiot, has actual skills.
Oh, he's such a fucking idiot. But so after this, her mom goes to take the delivery that they needed to bring over to to deliver the sweets that she was making.
Right.
And while she's gone, they remembered, oh, yeah, by the way, there is a typhoon that has been coming. This is something that happens a lot. The Japanese unlike us, where we're like 2 weeks leading up to a hurricane, we're like, oh God, we're all gonna die. The Japanese are just like, oh, it's a Category 4 hurricane. It'll end up destroying a fucking nuclear reactor and plunging the entire island into darkness for months at a time. But, we're going to forget it exists until it actually is already here. Yeah. I don't know if that's a thing that actually happens over there, but it's definitely a consistent thing with in manga and anime, that the typhoons just show up out of nowhere. Like, they're not slow-moving storm fronts that take months to build.
Yeah, no, they're always sudden. That's why they're kind of like, they're prepared as much as they are, but like, you can only do so much.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, it's really raining. Which, interestingly enough, this is not the only typhoon we're gonna have tonight. I don't know why this happens, but you've noticed this, right? That consistently we have like ongoing themes. in
Yeah.
specifically in our manga that we started from week 1 and have continued with, like the beach episode will always be in the same volume, sometimes even the same chapter will start it.
Actually, yeah. It might be an editorial thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like this is not the only typhoon we're going to have in this
In the show.
episode of in this show.
Yeah.
Which the other one is equally cute. But basically, this situation makes it so it's not safe for Raku to go home because you don't walk through hurricanes. Typically, it's not a great idea. So, yeah. By the way, to anybody who isn't already aware of this, typhoon is the Japanese word for the storm that is a hurricane. It's just a
Yeah.
hurricane that happens in the Pacific Ocean instead of in the Atlantic Ocean, which is what we Westerners are used to seeing.
Which
We're
people get
you
riggedy wrecked.
we're used to seeing um, Atlantic Ocean hurricanes hit our east coast. Japan has the same thing happen with Pacific Ocean typhoons, but it's the same type of weather. It just has different names in different parts of the world. But a typhoon is a hurricane. It's just in a different body of water. So he's just like, "Oh." She's just like, "You should she says you should spend the night." And he's just like, "The fuck did I just hear? Oh god. What is happening?"
Yeah, sleepover.
Sleepover with the girl of my
Yeah.
dreams who I've wanted to date forever, which ends up not being a sleepover because it wears off.
Yeah.
So
I was really
basically,
disappointed.
not only did they forget about the typhoon, but they forgot about the typhoon in the middle of the typhoon. They forgot about
Yeah.
the typhoon while they were in the eye of the typhoon, which is only like a 20-30 minute window. So like in a 30-minute time frame, they forgot that they were in the middle of a typhoon.
Yeah, they just assumed it was over. So they get wrecked.
Yeah. So basically they're idiots.
They're perfect for
So
each other.
long and short, they don't end up spending the night. He doesn't end up spending the night. There's a bunch of awkward shit that happens. Nothing really actually becomes of anything. It's mostly just Onodera being awkward and in her head being like, "Oh God, I've wanted him for so long and he's here," and he's like, "I've wanted her for so long and I'm here." And then then right as they're about to actually make something happen, the typhoon ends. It's just total blue balls. That's the main takeaway from this chapter is typhoons lead to blue balls.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they go to the beach.
Uh,
They kind of, they
you
not yet,
you
but they
want
go
to
to the
try
beach
that again?
eventually.
You want to try that again? They're gonna get there eventually, I guess, kind of, sorta.
They're gonna go to the beach eventually.
Yeah, Onodera and spoiler alert for the end of this section: Onodera and him and Raku are definitely going to be on a beach relatively soon. But
And she's gonna be a little forceful.
before that, we have takoyaki.
Takoyaki. Oh my god.
I think that's what my first fucking cooking stream is going to be. Is going to be my first attempt at making takoyaki because I cannot deal with living so far away from any restaurant that makes takoyaki. I can't take it anymore. I can't do it. The next time I'm going to be in Ann Arbor is literally 4 months from now. No, 3 months from now. I legit cannot fucking deal with going another 3 months without takoyaki. I can't
Which
do it
it's not that bad to make anyway. That's why I'm surprised you haven't made it yet.
because I don't have a proper takoyaki thing. You're,
Amazon.
you're supposed to fry them is the thing. They're not supposed to
Yeah.
be baked. And also I don't like frying things. I do it, but I don't like doing it. It's not a fun process. It's usually a process that leaves me with first and second degree burns. So
Fair enough. No, yeah, they basically have their own hangout sesh.
yeah, so basically he goes to this festival and he's like, "Yeah, my family pretty much runs all the stalls here." And she's like, "Oh, so everything's free? All the food?" and all the activities, and they're like, yeah, and she's just like, oh, oh, we must spend the afternoon together.
Like the
We
piece of shit she is.
we absolutely must because I want the free food and the free games. And he's like, all right, because I don't really have a choice. Because if I'm seen here in this place that's filled with my family members, aka Yakuza members, with anyone other than you, it's going to blow our cover. So I don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah. And so they go along and do these games and stuff, and the family members are like, "Oh, they're so cute together," and blah 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 blah.
So then there is apparently like this shrine at this festival is well known for its really high end love charms. And he wants to go and buy one. All the girls want to go buy one, except Hirosaki, who doesn't even know it's a thing because she's American.
Yeah.
And he gets it. He goes and buys one. He's the only one who manages to buy one of all of them. And I just love this scene. This is the only reason I got it, is this scene right here where Shinigami is holding on to these fish that he won for her because he's super good at the catch the fish game. And she's gonna cut the bag so that she can't have the fish. And Onodera is just like, no, Marika, no. Bad,
Yeah.
Marika.
But she's like, "I want to."
And then they go and buy the charm. And
Get that sword out of Yuri. Or get that knife
sword.
out of Yuri.
It's a knife. It is where it belongs.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
But yeah, no, they basically do all the festival stuff and are cute.
Yep, and then he goes and gets it, and he comments on the fact that she's not wearing a yukata like all the other girls. And he goes and buys the charm, and then he loses it, and it ends up being found by her, who had gone and separated herself from him so she could change into her yukata. And he finds her, and he's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she is cute in a yukata, because all girls are cute in a yukata. It's a thing that happens when you put on a yukata. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you yourself are cute. Katie would look cute in a yukata.
I take so much offense to this.
All I said was you'd look cute in a yukata.
Yes, but any girl who doesn't even have to be cute, and then you throw my name in there. What the hell? Anyway, so basically he gets starstruck by her, and she's just like, "You're being a freak," and kind of walks away. And he's just like, "I didn't think she could be cute."
So,
and that is sadly where the shit hits the fan, where I think he's developing feelings for her, which I hope to every god he doesn't.
Fuck whether he's developing feelings for her, because the next scene is she reads what the love charms are for, and one of the things that the love charms are for is when a man presents a woman with that love charm, it is supposed to be seen as a symbol of proposal, of marriage. She doesn't understand that that is like a joke, because again, American. So when he gives her the charm, just cuz, she's like, what? Huh? I'm so confused. Really? You're gonna propose to me right here? Just like this? And she gets all flustered because she actually likes him.
Yeah.
And then after he explains to her, no, I didn't mean it like that. Let's just go back and to the party. Whatever. And he does, and then he gets separated from her, and he goes looking for her and finds Onodera out on the docks, out on the pier.
Yep.
And he sits down next to Onodera to just chat with her. And this happens.
And Onodera's like, "I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna do it. Don't back out, you wuss. Don't you back out. All right, let's go. Can I kiss you?" And she hears it. Star Butterfly hears it.
Star Butterfly hears Jackie ask if she can kiss Marika.
Yep. And that's how it ends.
Yeah, and this is literally the last fucking scene of the volume. Fucking cliffhanger, my dude.
Which imagine like people are actually reading this. They have to wait weeks for the next one to come out. Close to months.
The next chapter would have come out a week later.
Still, you have to wait a week for the next, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What the actual
that's how
fuck?
you keep them buying.
But yeah, that's how that ended. This chapter, this volume was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It flew pretty well for the most part.
It felt good on the whole. Like preparation age. God damn it.
All right, what is our next contender?
The only ones we have left are New Game, Komi, Kiss Him Not Me. Before Relife. Oh, and Yamada before Relife. We literally have 5 left. Holy shit, we're 2.5 hours in. And barely over halfway.
I guess we can do the game one.
New game. All right, new game it is. My largest amount of stuff. I have so many resources for okay, no, Relife I have more, but new game is second most.
So the gist of this story is basically there's this girl who looks like she's from junior high, barely high school.
Yeah, this
And
is
she
true.
just
Alba looks
graduated
super
high school
young.
and she goes into the gaming company to work at just after graduating high school.
Yep.
And basically like one of the new other people hires mistake her as the kid. They're like, "Oh, are you sure you belong here?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
18."
One of the things I really like about this is it does represent something that the Japanese figured out a while ago, and that is that, and has not been figured out by Americans pretty much at all, is that there is a large number of jobs that your ability to do the functional of the job does not represent your ability to do the job well.
Yeah.
So going to college to learn how to do the detail, how to do the job when you don't have the ability to do the job. Like I'm trying to think of like an example. Like just because I have the ability to draw does not mean I have the ability to design nice houses. Just because I have the ability to draw houses on a blueprint paper does not, and I have the architectural background to know what makes a functional house, does not mean I have the ability to creatively design houses that are actually people will actually buy.
Yeah.
Just because I have the ability to write words on a piece of paper does not mean I have the ability to become the next Stephen King. And game design is something that very much lends itself to that ideal. So I like that they chose to tell that story with with that job.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, she goes in and gets introduced to everyone around the company. My particular favorite is this girl who she goes like the cutesy little girl goes up to her and tries to talk to her, and everyone's like, "No, you gotta like I am her."
Oh, hold
And
on.
so she
Jesus,
answer,
you're so bad at doing this. I have
and
20 fucking pictures for this. Do you think I don't have one for the cutest fucking girl? Do you think I don't have one for every introduction? Cuz you'd be wrong.
I'm just going the ones I favor the most. So basically, yeah,
Chill
she's
a
like literally
sec.
going up to her trying to talk to her, and the girl just like doesn't know what to fucking do with herself. And
Okay,
they finally get the
in
memo.
order. First, she goes to her first day of work and immediately runs into a girl laying under her desk in nothing but panties. And then it comes to find out that this girl is her fucking boss, also known as
Yes.
Ko Yagami, who is the head designer or the character lead for this for this what's the word I'm looking for this game that they're currently working on, and is the art director, was the art director for her favorite game of all time. And the first time she meets this person, she meets her in her panties. Ko, of course, always sleeps at the office. Well, almost always. 4 out of pretty much 4 days on, 1 day off, 4 days on, 1 day off. She kind of sleeps at the office in panties, in nothing but her panties, and works late into the night and wakes up early the next morning to get to work.
Yeah.
Then she's introduced to her direct, not supervisor, but the senpai in the department, I guess is the best way to put it, who Katie was just talking about, who basically ignores everybody talking to her at all. This is Hifumi, and she is super fucking cute, but she is very, very, very socially awkward. Not
Yes.
quite Komi levels, but close.
Super close. Because, like, she literally tries to talk to her, and they're just like, you gotta IM her. So, like, she starts IMing her, and she actually gives her, like, legit responses.
Yep.
It's adorable.
And then she immediately starts trying to IM other people the same way. And she's just like, I finished up to where you told me in the textbook. Oh no, she's already doing it. Good job. Can you come see me right now? I want to teach you a few things like how to send messages. Because
Yeah.
Hifumi uses like emotes in everything. How did this get reversed? Might be. This is the one immediately before that. Come on, smile. So, what's this one? I gotta turn my monitor. I can't see it. Oh, so she goes and
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
like this.
this is the next scene. So the next scene is they need to take a picture of her for her work ID, and she's wearing a suit, but she has the suit buttoned up and bow tied at the top like a school uniform. And then Ko comes over and is like, "Oh, I guess we'll unbutton you to wear this the right way." And and she just looks like she's being taken advantage of. And Ko's like, well, maybe this doesn't work out. See, me over here, I still haven't figured out if I ship these two or if I ship a different relationship between Ko and someone else.
I ship someone else with Ko.
Katie
Hard.
ships somebody else with Ko. I think I ship Alba with Ko just to disagree with Katie.
Of course.
Yeah. So that next up, because again, as we discussed with the last four coma, this one also every single panel is going to be all about a different, possibly very unrelated statement. The story does not flow, which
Yeah.
actually on it. Oh my god, am I the only one who found it really hard to read the two four comas we have? Like, just not like hard to read as in they weren't interesting or they were badly written or anything like that, but just the way they flow, the flow of the story, because there is no flow to the story. It's just jarring jumps from story to story. It made it really much harder to read.
Yeah. It made it. That's why I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I know I'm reading this, but am I actually reading this?
Yeah.
And so, like, the whole time I was like going through it, and I was like, I really hope Tundra can understand what the fuck's going on more than me. I'm trying so hard. But I ship these two together. Kinda. Sometimes I
You
do.
ship these two. This is the motion designer and the animator for the character department. So basically she's not part of the character department, but she sits with the character department because there's no more seats over in the animation department, and because her direct job is to animate the characters that the character department makes, not the other things
So it's kind
around
of
the
convenient.
character. So it's kind of convenient.
Yeah. Which I do like her though. I do like her as a person so far.
I think she's cute, and I love how she's like, "Oh no, I know I'm older than you, but don't treat me like I am. This is weird." Especially because she's not. She's like so not mature at all.
Which
Like,
is relatable.
she keeps like a ton of toys around her desk, which admittedly is part of her job because like it gives her an idea of like motion because they're action
Yeah.
figures.
Yeah.
Um, they're anatomically correct figures. That's the interesting thing. Oh. And then we introduce another character. This girl is, I don't even remember her freaking name. Yoon, that's her name. And she is the monster designer for the game. And that's consistently her job throughout the series, is that it is her job to design the monsters that they make for the game.
Yeah, she's cute with her Lolita and stuff like that. Like I
She
really like her
very
outfits.
much has a Lolita style about her. Very Lolita, very prim and proper. She has two sisters at home that constantly are fighting with each other over things,
Yeah.
which I might have a picture of later, but I don't remember, so I figured I'd say it now. Oh God. So then we get our first taste of the one of the main conflicts in the series. So she asks when the next game will be released, the game that she's about to be working on, and they're like, 6 months from now. Rumor has it the terrifyingly busy time will be coming soon. and then fucking Hifumi's just like, we won't be able to go home anymore.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
And she's not joking. That is one of the biggest things about the game industry that a lot of people who go into it have a problem with, is that there's a huge disconnect between producers and designers of games, and the producers have no fucking clue what it actually takes time-wise to put a game out, so they expect it to be done way sooner than necessary. And hi, Tiny. Um, they always put deadlines way sooner than what it should be, and because of that, the game either gets rushed out if it's in the worst situation, or they end up overworking their staff, because of the fact that that you just can't get the work done in time.
Yeah, pretty much. And it kind of sucks because like puts a lot of pressure on people that are actually designing the game.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on them, and they don't really appreciate it. It's not a fun time. Oh God. So then they go here's the next best part. They go out drinking that evening. Next scene, they go out drinking that evening to celebrate that Aoba is now part of the company. And of course, everybody goes, including the two bosses. The girl,
Yeah.
of course, there's Ko and Aoba, and Ko's like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she's like, "Of course I don't." And then Ko's like, "Of course I don't." And I'm just like, "Aw, the two of them should hook up. Now kiss." And then Katie's like, "No, this other girl that's with Ko should kiss her." Right, Katie?
Yeah, I really like Ko with the other girl, honestly. They're the best couple.
They're the best couple.
Yeah.
We'll get to why I have trouble whether I ship Ko and Aoba or Ko and the other girl. Oh, this was so fucking cute. I just had to save it. So Aoba goes shopping with the animator girl, whose name I cannot remember. I'm bad with names. Get used to it. And they both end up forgetting their wallets and have to run back to the office because they're both klutzes. And then Nenichi gets introduced. Nenichi is Aoba's best friend from high school. And she's 1 year younger than Aoba, so she's still in high school.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. At which point they talk, and Aoba's like, "I'm older. I feel so much older than you because I order alcohol." And that's about it. Talking about these four comas is really hard just because of how there's no flow to the story.
Not really, no.
They're
That's
all
why I'm like,
next one. They're all late to work.
mm.
They're all late to work, and Ko gets angry about it, and then is like, "What do you guys have to turn in your tardy slips as to why you were late?" And it's like two of them wrote down overslept, and the third one wrote down took too much time eating breakfast.
Which I appreciate the eating breakfast.
I love Hifumi, how she fucking wrote a emoticon in with
Yes.
the with into her
Tardy
thing.
slip.
I'm so sorry.
Like I love it so much.
Sorry about that. I had to adjust my mic there for a minute. All right. They have a conversation about what to do with their first paycheck, and Alba says she's going to put hers in the bank. And everyone else is like, well, I did something special with mine. So, of course, Rin is like, what the hell? Yagami's like, I don't remember what I did with mine. I don't remember what you did with yours either, Rin. And Rin's like, we went to a hot spring
Oh,
together. It was our first date.
yeah. Loses her shit.
How could you forget?
This wasn't really like a first date, but still, it seemed like that.
It very much does. They come
Because
off.
like she gets really pissed off about it.
Yeah. So then Ko thinks she's alone in the office, so she strips down into her skimpies like she does every day.
But she's
And
not alone.
but she's not alone. Rin is there. Oh god, it's a manga where Rin is actually the best girl. Oh no.
Yep.
And she just reprimands her, and she's like, you know, you could do it too. You could take off your pants in the office when I'm the only one here. And
Yeah,
then she
pretty
does.
much.
And then Alba runs into both of them the next morning. I didn't see anything. I promise. I didn't see anything. I didn't see you two sleeping together without pants.
Yeah, that's why I ship them. I was like, yeah, that's already canon. That's confirmed.
I think this is why Ko and Alba is canon, because it is not what she thinks, and now but it's gonna create tension in Alba and Ko's relationship.
Yeah, there's not much to go on with those two though. So
Yeah, and then
yeah.
we get to see Hifumi's pet,
We do.
a very cute hedgehog, which she smiles in one of her pictures, and Alba is like, please,
Yeah.
you should smile more often. And Hifumi's like, please don't tell anybody about it, and gives money to her to get her to not talk about it.
Yeah, which is adorable.
And then they're getting closer to crunch time, so Alba is sleeping at the office to try and get some things done because she wants to work later into the night to get some of her villagers done. And this is the sleeping bag she sleeps in when she sleeps at the office. Just fucking cute ass bear sleeping bag. And Ko's just like, well, you can sleep here with me, or I guess you can sleep in a meeting room. And I was like, I'll go sleep in a meeting room. And Ko's like, aw. Not really. I just like reading things.
The whole Teddy sleeping bear thing's adorable though.
Yeah. So honestly, mostly it's just more or less it's just a slice of life manga about a girl who's working as a video game designer. I know later on there'll be more about like the actual concepts of designing games, and there'll be some interesting conflict between a couple of employees and Alba, some new employees. But for now, it's just basically a cutesy slice of life. Eventually, I'm sure there'll be more conflict as more things happen and there's more game stuff. So far, the only game stuff has really been like how to make a character, because of course Alba just got out of high school and she's still training on how to like even do the designs. She's just a good artist right now, and she's learning how to do everything the right way.
Fair enough.
What did you think? Other than the
It
fact
was
that it's
like
a
all
4
over the
coma and
place.
hard to read because of it.
Yeah, it was like really over the place for me. Like it's gonna be hard to do reviews on this because of how many times it's all over the place, in my opinion.
Yeah, it and Begata are going to be hard, I'll be honest. Even though I like both series, the I feel like because it doesn't go in depth, it doesn't go as in depth into any one scene. There's way less to talk about any one scene. And whereas with the other ones, like we can sit and talk about one scene that's only, I may have 3 or 4 pictures, but we can sit and talk about it for 15-20 minutes because the scene is super in depth. In this one, I only have 3 or 4 pictures per volume. Well, that's not true. I only have 3 or 4 pictures per concept, but that's the whole of the concept, and there's nothing additional to talk about. There's nothing else.
Right.
And I felt that way very much with both 4 comas. So if we want to try and continue to do these, we can. If not, I would totally understand if you don't want to, especially because you don't have a lot of time to read and they are very hard to get through and get any kind of reading retention.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, I figure I'll leave this one up to you, especially because one is yours and one is mine. But I'm gonna say realistically, they're really hard to get through and they are hard to talk about. But I'll leave it up to you as to whether you want to keep them for now.
Okay, I'll think about it and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So our next one should be Yamada's a Witch.
Yamada Witches, got you. Only have 9 pictures from this one, so not bad. But we have a lot of witches. First things first, we got last week we left off with Yamada being Yamada. I have to remember to pronounce one of these the girl way and one of these the boy way. Yamada is told by a witch who can see the future that the old school building is going to burn down, and he has to figure out a way to stop it from happening. So they realize that through some testing of his power, by him making out with white-haired boy and the girl who isn't a witch, to that the future sight sees the future through the eyes of the person who you are kissing. So specifically, when he kisses Miyafumi, he never sees Miyafumi in the image. Same with when he kisses the girl whose name I can't remember. He never sees her. So the realization is that because the girl's vision of the fire had both these two in it, both Yamada and herself in it, neither one of them could have been the person who. There must be a third person there because you can't see yourself in these images.
Yeah.
So there must have been a third person at the fire. The assumption is that that person is the arsonist, and the assumption is that it's the person she was kissing at the time. That is not really the case. Oh, well, it is, but... So what happens is they realize it's this dude who the future-seeing witch was kissing at the time for funsies. Why not? It's fun, right? So she was kissing him at the time, and they realize he has a major crush on Shiraishi, the witch who can change bodies. So they switch body. Yamada and Shiraishi switch bodies with each other. And they go, and he's just like, I'm going to try and make this dude kiss me. Well, I'm going to try and make this dude not ask me out on this specific day, because this is the specific day that the fire happens. So we need to make sure it doesn't happen. And if he doesn't ask me out, he won't go and burn down the building when I turn him down.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh.
Actually, I was like, I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Guess how well that works. It
Yeah,
doesn't. basically Yamada becomes friends with him, and he realizes the reason that he's going to burn down the building is not on purpose. He's burning down the building because when he gets depressed, he goes to the old building and cooks. And when he goes and cooks, this time he's going to accidentally set fire to the building. Is basically all that it is. And so, okay, that's neither here nor there. So what happens is he manages to convince Yamada manages to convince the guy who is going to burn the building down to not cook that day. He goes and he as Shiraishi, and Shiraishi as Yamada comes and is like, I'm sorry, but this is not how this is going to go. Kisses Yamada in Shiraishi's body. They swap back, and she's just like, my lips belong to another. That's literally what she says. I can't make this shit up. It's actually that fucking corny. So he gets upset. He runs to the place, and he starts cooking, and Yamada runs after him and is like, no, wait, it's not what it looked like. We were just switching bodies. And he's like, are you retarded? Do you think am I a joke to you?
Yeah, pretty much. Which I was like, poor dude.
At which point he's like, no, for real, open the door. And he finally convinces him to open the door. And he immediately kisses him to switch bodies with him. And then he kisses him back, so they switch back again. And he's like, holy shit, you weren't kidding. And he's like, yeah, and there are more powers than just this one. The power to see the future, for one. And we know you're going to burn down this building if you keep cooking. So don't be a dumbass. Let's leave. And they leave, and everything's fixed. And the building doesn't burn down. But as part of the port process, they were having the girl who could see the future just absolutely make out with the one girl who doesn't have power, the one girl who's not a witch in the series. And the reason is that they wanted to continuously see the future to see if the building was no longer burning down. And one of the futures she saw was that instead of Yamada and the future seeing witch being blamed for the fire, instead Shiraishi would be blamed for the fire. And they realized that the reason why is because she was going to intentionally take the fall for Yamada. And the reason why, well, oh, what the fuck, do I not have that one? The reason why is because she fucking loves him. And he comes and confronts her about this fact, and he's just like, why would you do that? And she's like, because I felt like it. And he's like, oh, okay. And she's just like, phew, I got off easy. And he's like, do you really think I'm gonna let you off that easy? Don't be a fucking dumbass. You are not gonna pull that shit with me. And she's like, she blushes super hard, and she's like, yeah, okay, I won't. Where were we? Okay. Right here. So then they go to the fricking president for whatever reason. I didn't really understand why this was. Oh, because it's festival time. It's time for the festival, and they have to get approval for whatever they want to do as their festival thing. And of course, the principal, or the not principal, student council president wants to be a dipshit and is like, "Oh, I'm not going to approve your request unless you do this thing for me." And he knows this is the reason I snapped this. He says he knows everything because he has a very talented secretary. And then it zooms in on this one girl who's super fucking pretty. And then another girl in the background who's just irritated and doesn't fucking want to talk about anything. Or, like, doesn't want to talk. I think that they're both witches.
I think so, too, honestly. They got that vibe.
They have that vibe. So I figured I needed to put that up. And then he's like, oh, we still have to do the witch hunt and all this jazz. Shiraishi is just being super cute and close with Yamada. And that's pretty much the rest of this frickin' episode. Until he meets an additional witch who just doesn't want to be touch him or be anywhere near him, doesn't want to interact with him. She thinks he's gross, even though she flirts with him. And the thought is they think she also has the kiss and control them power and is using people to do delinquent things.
That's what I think too, honestly, because she was really sketchy.
I like how she talks to like Nico. She refers to herself in the third person.
That's what you like about her?
I just hear her her voice. I hear is Nico's voice, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because it actually kind of fits her persona too, because she's kind of like playful. I don't know that you even know who Nico is. Katie.
Yes.
I wasn't talking to.
Sorry, I zoned out. What?
I said I don't even know that you know who Nico is as far as the voice goes, but that's who I hear this voice. Her voice as Nico's voice.
I'm gonna have to check that voice out and see what that sounds like to confirm.
Yeah. Well, you watched the Curious Chameleon intro for Nico, didn't you?
Oh, that Nico. I wasn't sure who you were talking about. Yeah, no, I agree then.
Yeah, she seems very much like Nico, and I hear her voice as this Noah girl. But honestly, nothing else really happened at this point with Yamada-kun. Pretty straightforward. They successfully saved everybody. Nobody got in trouble. Hooray.
Pretty much. And then what's the next one?
We have Komi, Kiss Him Not Me, and then finally Relife.
So we got 3 more left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You think you can make it?
I'm sorry, my throat hurts so bad. That's why I'm like stop the talking so much, because like it hurts really bad.
Why? Are you okay?
I kind of been getting like, I thought it was allergies early this week, but I'm feeling a little sicker and sicker. I'm trying really hard not to sniff in the mic, but like my throat just hurts. Like it's.
Well, keep in mind there's a mute button on your mic that you can press real quick if you need to, like a physical mute button.
I've been taking advantage of it. I've just been. I'm not feeling too hot, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best.
All
right.
I
took like a airborne C tablet. And
you should probably take a Mucinex too.
Yep.
Do you want to do Komi or Kiss Him Not Me next?
Let's do Komi.
Okay. All right. I have an intro picture for this one because it's Komi. Yes. Because it's so fucking cute.
Are you talking about the maid uniform one?
Yep. Zoom in of her in the maid uniform with her cat ears popped up.
Like, it's super cute. Like, this whole chapter was really cute. I particularly like, she has like this epiphany of where she realizes that she likes what's-his-face.
That she likes Tadano, yeah. This is when she's asked after everything if she had fun, and she's just like, a little. But the episode starts with a new character being introduced, who's basically like a big sister, is kind of her motif. And she's just like, oh, I'm sorry for getting in the way. I'll be rooting for both of you. And that's kind of what sparks in her head to Komi that she might like Tadano.
Yeah, because she gets jealous.
Yeah, she gets jealous about them being close. So then, like I said earlier, we're going to get another typhoon. And this one's cute too. So she has this cute thing where when it gets bad weather, she breathes on the glass and draws a kitty face. And she gets super excited with bad weather. And then the power goes out and she's not excited anymore. But she calls Tadano and he makes her feel better because she gets to talk to him. And she just sits there and talks to him through the storm.
Tadano, can you talk to me on the phone?
For a little while longer. So then, next day, everybody wants to go eat. So, of course, best girl, Aguri, has to become involved. And they go to a special restaurant where the restaurant thinks that Komi is a secret reviewer of food because she's so haughty and prim and proper. when in actuality, it, of course, is actually Aguri that is the secret reviewer, which, of course, makes them think even more for sure that it must have been Komi because they came in together.
Which is actually works out in her favor, though. In Augury's favor.
Yeah. Aguri is so cute. I love how she's just like so excited after having gone to her new restaurant. Her head's all held high and stuff. I'm sorry, Aguri is best girl. I get excited in every single scene she's in, no matter what she's doing.
But yeah, no, like I think the whole time, like where Komi's like, I want to help out the festival, and everyone's just like, oh, here, sit on a throne, and she's just like, I want to help so bad.
Right?
It's like the
Here we are.
cutest thing I've seen.
Oh man, I'm really bad at this. There we go, my bad. So they start making suggestions as to what they want to do for the festival for their class. Because again, every single manga has to have a fucking similarity to another one because we're doing festivals this week, I guess. So Najimi suggests the maid cafe. And everyone's like, you want to see Komi-san in a maid uniform, right? And they're like, yeah, of course we do.
So everyone in school basically shows up.
Yeah, basically. Aguri's suggestion is, I want to do whack-a-mole because I want Komi-san to hit me. All the masochists in class, is she a genius?
Yeah, no, pretty much. And so it's fan service galore.
Yes, fan service galore. So, oh god, why do I have this one on here? Naja, Komi, this is an interim in the middle of the festival. Komi-san is trying to find somebody to ask to go to the bathroom with her. And she first goes to ask Tadano, and then she's like, wait, Tadano's a boy. I can't ask him to go to the bathroom with me. And then she goes to ask Najimi, and she's like, wait, I don't even know if Najimi's a boy or a girl. And then she goes to ask Aguri, and she's like, wait, I don't want to pee outside.
Yeah, it has all these like problems. And it's like, Komi, you're so cute.
So then she gets invited to go shopping for the supplies by this girl, Odori-san, who is super slow, not just in the way she talks, but in the way she thinks too. She's not very bright. But Odori asks her to go shopping for supplies, and she gets super excited because because Komi gets super excited because she's actually being allowed to help. It really bothers her when people think she's not good enough to help them do the things that she's doing.
But in actuality, they think she's too good to do those things.
Yeah. And then we have the maid cafe where each of the people who are just acting their normal personality are being looked at by a maid cafe reviewer as like, oh, they're doing like a special character. Like Nakanaka is being a Chunibyo because that's what she fucking is. And of course we have a big boobed clumsy girl as in Aguri, or Yamai not giving a shit about anybody but Komi, so she's looked at as a tsundere. And then he sees Komi and he's just like, oh god, why is she staring at me like I'm a piece of garbage?
And then she's like super anxious to talk to him, and it's like, oh, she never had a chance.
Yeah. And here we go, the best part. Because if having Najimi cross-dress, maybe, wasn't enough, we get Tadano-kun in a in a maid outfit as well, which Komi is super excited about.
Yeah, she's super cutie about it. Like, she looks good in the uniform, and she looks like she's having fun and stuff. I think just my personal favorite is when her Komi's brother shows up, and everyone just gawes at him because he's so cute.
Yeah, all the girls just stare at him, except for Yamai and Aguri.
Yeah.
What do I got next?
Do you have a picture of the brother?
I don't. I don't have a picture of the brother. I have a little more fan service. Because, man, Najimi is looking good. I mean, Komi. I meant to say Komi.
Right. And then
And then we also have this scene where where Najimi is trying to make some fucking dough. So she starts selling things off for taking a picture with a maid, playing a game with a maid, walking around the school with a maid, or getting slapped in the face by a maid.
yeah, she goes really too happy with it.
Yeah, and she gets in trouble for it. And that was pretty much the entirety of Komi this week. Was the festival.
I'm hoping next chapter Komi like goes and confesses her feelings or makes attempts to, because I want to see how that.
I'll be surprised if Komi can even say hi to Tadano. If she can manage that, that'll be a step in the right direction.
Right. I'm like really, really excited how they're going to do this confession with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have now my boyfriend, or kiss me not him, kiss him not me, and then we have real life, right?
Yep. Kiss him not me is first. So I have a decent setup for kiss him not me.
Okay, this one I was really excited about. So this is basically about a girl who shifts boys with boys, and they're called fushushis. And she's also a major otaku, which is basically a weeb.
Hold on. So we've got the girl who looks like this. She ships boys with boys. That's what she does. You gotta slow down, my dude. You're talking way too fast.
Sorry. And so basically boys with boys. And basically like she and her friend watch this show, and it's like I don't even know what's about, but basically she goes and watches the show.
She has a favorite character who's part of her favorite ship named Shion.
Yeah, and Shion dies in the episode, and breaks her phone and freaks the fuck out and goes in a major like depressive episode where she doesn't go to school for a week. And while this is happening, people are like, what the fuck's going on with her? Because she's super nice and friendly and usually helps around the school and is like actually gets along with a lot of people.
And then
so she comes.
As a side note to not going to school for a week, she doesn't leave her room for an entire week, which means she doesn't eat for a whole week. And because this is a manga, and she's a fat girl, this is how she wakes up. You can feel free to...
Yeah, she gets and stuff, which I was like, realistically, she wouldn't lose that much weight. She would actually... So basically she wakes up because her mom finally forces her to get out with her brother.
Katie, we're losing you massively. Like I only got maybe half of that through.
What about now?
Yeah, you're better now.
And so basically she's been told to like go wash her hair and go to school. So she goes to the mirror and basically why is there a poster in here? And then she touches the mirror. She's like, oh shit, that's me. And she freaks the fuck out. And basically her like no one recognizes her when she goes back to school. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Nobody recognizes her except for
her best friend because she like goes to call out her best friend and her best friend's like, I know that voice.
This guy. Saranuma. And she's like, yeah, I was scared. And so basically she does her everyday stuff and like a bunch of guys are hitting on her because she's cute. And the only guy that really recognizes her is best boy, who's basically like, oh, I know that kindness anywhere. And I was like, I ship them so fucking hard. So, of course, these four dudes are all hitting on her. The one dude who I think has had a crush on her forever. And then the other three who's like, oh, she's fucking hot now. But then she only has eyes for the boys being interested in one another. That's her whole motif.
Yeah, that's her motivation. She's just like, I don't give a shit. They're like hitting on me. I want them to hit on each other.
But of
And
course
that
they want to pull they want her all to their own, so they're pulling her away for different kinds of things like going to the photo booth.
or see a movie, and she's trying to act so normal on this date because she's trying so hard not to ship him, and she wants to experience like do a normal experience. And this guy, who I think I want him to be a good guy, because yeah, he did express actual interest in her, but he's kind of nice to her. Even beforehand, he was kind of nice to her.
Who are
So
we talking about? The dude in the last picture that I was just showing?
yeah,
This
that
dude?
dude, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if he's that decent, but I don't know.
I want him to be decent at least. And then I guess like the other blonde hair dude, like like the he's like really spunky. He's actually one of the favorite character. Like he looks like one of her favorite characters, so she has a hard time being around him, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
Because
he
every
looks
time
like
she looks
the
at him, she
character
starts
that
crying
died.
and shit.
He looks like the character that died and left her in
Yeah.
the situation that she was in.
So she starts crying. She literally looks at him and she's like, and starts fucking bawling and runs out of the classroom. And everyone's like, "Oh, you made her cry." And she's like, "I can't look at him. He
Yeah.
reminds me too much of Shio," and just fucking books it. And I was just like, "He's such a freak," but I love her. And so throughout the date, like they all ask her on the date. So she goes on this date with them, and basically, uh, sorry. So she's like throughout the date, she's like trying to be normal, kind of fails because she lets some of her like chip on chip. She's like, "Oh, I got a photo of the boys." Oh. She's like, "Wait, no, get it together. And they pass this anime store, and she loses her fucking mind because they have a half off sale. Which, in her defense, if there was a actual legit anime store in my town and everything was 75%, I would be fucking on that shit. So she's like, "I have to go," and they're like, "Oh, one time limited edition," and it's like our favorite character, like she owned dolls or something.
It's
So she's
a
like,
Dakimakura, which is
yeah,
a
so
full
she
body pillow.
dramatically turns to them like the beautiful freak she is, and she's like, "I have to go in there," comes back out, and they're just like, "What happened?" And she's like, "I'm sorry, but I'm actually an otaku," which is basically a weeb, but in Japan, it's socially unacceptable to be an otaku.
Yeah, no, you have to understand is that to us, a weeb is me and Katie, some people who like to watch manga or read manga, watch anime occasionally. To the Japanese, an otaku is the kind of person who literally has no social life, locks themselves in their room, and does nothing but watch manga, watch anime, and read manga, and does nothing but burn money into this stuff, has no other hobbies, has no life at all whatsoever. It's taking weeb to a whole nother level.
Unhealthy level. Like, you know, like if you ever go to like an anime convention and there's that one weird guy that's like has dress up cosplays, eating Japanese food, and it's just live, breathe anime, and if anything else, like he finds it unacceptable. It's that, but 5 times worse.
If you ever go to a convention and there's the one fat neckbeard who is balding and is clearly in his late 30s, but is still there with his parents and has jeans that don't quite fit him and are sagging, but he still has the room to fit a furry tail in there, and that's the entirety of his costume, that's still not quite as bad as otakus are, as the actual word otaku implies in Japan.
Like, we're talking every single day of your life, good night retro, to committing yourself to watch, read, breathe anime and manga.
Yeah.
And then you're like posting it with your other otaku friends, like you're shut in. So basically, she admits to them dramatically as fuck, like, "I'm an otaku. I'm sorry." And this is why I ship Best Boy, because he's literally, because like she starts walking away. She's like, "I thought I could do a normal date, but it's just that I have to be true to myself." And so she starts walking away, and then the Best Boy is just like, "I'm sorry, what am I missing here?" And she's like, "What?" He's like, "This is like the first time I've seen you happy all night. If you're like, you have to do what
I
you
have one
love."
similar for this. Hold on one second. That'll fit this.
And so like he's like, "Oh, you have to do what your passions are, and your eyes are sparkling," and it's just like being super fucking cute. That's why he's best boy.
Yeah.
And so the other three hoodlums, this kid,
Hoodlums.
hoodlums, I'm calling them hoodlums because they're just like, "Oh yeah, he's kind of right." And so like the second best boy, I guess I have to pick from four of them. It's like
The other dark-haired one. The dark-haired boys are best boys. The blonde-haired boys are jackasses.
the other dark hair boy's like, I watched Evelyn, was it Evelyn one time. I was like,
Yeah,
you
he's
tried.
like, I watched Evangelion once.
And I was like, you know what? You tried. You legit tried. Kudos to you for trying to relate. And the other two are like, oh yeah, your hobbies. I'd rather have your sparkling eyes than your dead man eyes. And I was like, I guess not even close to a point. So
Yeah.
they
So,
then she emerges them into the whole world of her fucking weebness.
that's not until the end of the volume. First, the soccer thing happens.
Oh yeah, the soccer thing, because like she apparently was good at volleyball before, but now that she's lost a ton of weight, she's super fast and like and shit good at volleyball. And so the soccer team are like, "Oh, you should join the soccer club because we're short on members." And her being her is like, "Oh, okay." Not thinking what like okay in Japan in high school, there's like a league like a soccer being part of the soccer club. They go all out.
She's very not capable of playing soccer, is the long and the short. She has no idea what she's doing, and she has zero stamina at all whatsoever. She has a little bit of speed because even when she was fat, she was kind of sort of did kind of sort of well in gym class and gave it her all in gym class. So she has a little bit of muscle there, but not really any beyond that. The only reason she appears athletic is because she has suddenly lost a shit ton of weight, and so she is used to carrying around like 150 pounds more than what she is now.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why she's so fast in volleyball, which is those are two different sports. Volleyball doesn't require as much stamina than fucking soccer, because in fucking soccer you're doing a lot more cardio.
Yeah.
So like she starts doing soccer stuff and finally realizes, oh shit, I'm way over my head, and gets the guys to help. And like the guy that looks like Shinon gives her a actually good, realistic approach to it. He doesn't handle it well, but he's like telling her like, hey,
He
you really
basically
can't do
tells
this.
her, "You're a dumbass. This is a stupid idea." He's not nice about it. He's like, "There's no way you can pull this off. Get the
Yeah,
fuck off my field." And that because he's a soccer, that's his jam. And so
yeah,
she's like, "Okay." And she tries and tries by herself forever and is terrible and can't do anything. And he's like, "Okay, are you ready?" She's like, "Okay, I'm terrible at this, but I'm still gonna give it my all because I don't want to give up." And he's like, "All right, fuck. I'm not gonna let her down. She wants to be fucking cute. All right, we'll fucking help her with this." So he kind of
yeah,
tries to teach her and fails utterly because she's so bad she can't manage to do anything. But she has this one fucking thing where she kicks the soccer ball, and whenever she
yeah.
kicks the freaking soccer ball, it goes the opposite
It's
direction
the
of where she
fucking
wants to
thing.
kick it.
It's pretty
It,
fucking
it
great.
like always comes back and like flies over her shoulder behind her. So at the end, where they're only 1 point down, she's like, "Oh, I can do this. I can get us 1 point." So she runs out and freaking kicks the ball, grabs the ball, turns around, kicks the ball as hard as she can, and it goes clean over her and the goalie's head because they don't expect it at all. They don't even try and block it.
Yeah, which is pretty great. I was like, fuck yeah. That's why I like this manga and the anime. It's funny. It's legit funny to me. And um and so the soccer girls are like, "Oh, thank you." Okay, even before then the soccer girls were kind of shitty. They're going to actually replace her, and they weren't even telling her about it. Like there was like so much drama with that. And so after that whole thing happens, like,
They all go to her house.
yep, go into her den, and she's like hiding all the otaku stuff. I think she leaves one or two things out to kind of seem normal, but she like hides the plushie under the bed
She doesn't.
and
She
puts
doesn't hide the Dakimakura. Is the only thing she doesn't hide because they'd already seen it.
yeah,
But then her brother comes in and is like, "Hold on, you guys need to know. I'm a dude and I can't let you guys make this bad decision. Just because she got cute, she's still a piece of shit."
Literally, that's how he goes. Like he's just like, this is what you guys are getting into, and unleashes all the guy on guy manga she has. Which, you know what? I thought it was pretty great. That's like, this is realistic sibling shit right here. So I was like, all right, I appreciate this. So basically, she's horrified. Again, Best Boy's like not phased. He's not even like phased at all. He's just like, oh, these are your hobbies. Why are you treating them so poorly? And like helps her pick it up and shit. And I was like, fucking yes.
Yeah. That was what this scene was earlier, because this is the second time effectively he's done this.
Yeah.
So he's good. Good guy. Nice guy. I like him. I think he's
I
best
also
boy.
like the scene with all four of them because like all three out of four of him are like, oh, she's so cute, and he doesn't do it, which makes me really scared that he doesn't like her. So that's why I'm anxious. I'm like,
He might
oh,
be
the one
gay.
guy.
Like,
The
that's
one
the other
perfect guy,
possibility. He
and
could be
he's
gay.
yeah, guy. That's why I was like, oh, he's literally perfect for her.
Right?
Take everything away. Oh goddamn. And so that whole thing happens, and the guys are getting really competitive with each other about her, which is kind of stupid. But this is a manga, so
Yeah. Welcome to hell.
and like she's like totally oblivious to everything, and the best friend's like, you gotta choose one, or like just like you gotta know what's going on, and she's like, what?
All right. So that's everything for that manga.
Yeah.
So,
Last but not least,
did you have anything you
right.
wanted to talk about in that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Who do you want her to end up with?
I mean, I thought I made that pretty clear.
Also, best boy.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He's the only dude who liked her from the beginning. I legitimately think he had a crush on her even when she was fat, and she wasn't even cute when she was fat. She wasn't cute and fat like me. She was cute and fat like, or cute. She was like fat like. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna let
I
that
was gonna
hang.
say, man, you're not gonna win it, so just stop, man. Okay. I also really liked the comedy aspect of this series
It's all right.
because it has a way to like actually be funny in certain situations.
It's better than the 4 coma.
Yeah.
Got to be honest. The 4 coma tries really hard to be funny and then has some real problems. Oh darn, Em! I was the next one you're gonna have. There's more than a couple of jokes specifically designed for
Time
you
is
in the
confined.
next section, Em. That makes me sad that you're gonna leave. Maybe we shouldn't have saved best for last. Welcome to the
I
stream, Miss
know.
Confined.
You're just gonna have to rewind, or we'll send you some pics. I guess him.
Yeah, she ends up watching the VODs whenever she isn't able to attend the stream, so she'll enjoy it either way, I'm sure.
Wait, you watch our vods? That's so nice.
Well, welcome. You're about to get a bit. Well, you're in for the last manga of the night. But you watching this, you can definitely get a crash course. We basically talk about every volume of every manga we read from start to finish, and we do 11 mangas per week right now.
No, you should go to sleep. Get your sleep schedule on right.
As though that's an
Yeah, no,
option.
fine. We do a lot of different stuff. So welcome. Also, curiously, what manga do you know about? Because now I need to know.
Oh my gosh.
I need to know.
Of
This is
course, you need
important to
to
me.
know. You're.
This is important. This tells me what type of person.
Oh my god. All right, so we'll at least start real life because, like I said, delay and all that.
Okay.
Intro picture, seasonal change of clothes because it's summertime now.
That was cute as fuck. Honestly, that made me happy. Seeing that, I was like, yes.
Yeah, this is literally how the volume opens. So I was like, oh, it's perfect for an intro for the show for this section anyway. All right, so first things first, we left off last week with the main character of this show. Well, the two girls.
Wait. Can I do the recap?
Do you even remember what happened last week?
Kinda.
All right.
Last time on Real Life. Okay, so pink hair girl and volleyball girl were at odds, and they were fighting.
It's
and
not pink.
We're at odds.
God damn it! I knew this was why she wanted to frickin' do
Yes,
this.
exactly. This is exactly why I wanted to do this. Get you so flustered up. And so basically they're in odds, and finally pink hair girl and best not so smiling girl are kind of friends, kind of not friends. They're kind of acknowledging each other. They're kind of not. I don't know. It's kind of unclear. But like they have
I
somewhat
can't.
of a.
I have to say.
I'm purposely doing it this way.
I have to interrupt you real quick, Katie.
Okay.
Though your favorite was Puelamaki Madoka Magica.
That's hardcore as fuck. Your only manga you know, and it's the hardcore one. Damn, respect.
Right? You don't get
read some
much
of it.
darker. We were considering adding that to our list because we've both
know,
watched
right?
the anime and the movies. And we were considering adding that to our list. And we've held off because we thought maybe we don't want to go straight for the throat with the darkest shit we possibly can pull.
Right? Like we were just like, we don't want to like totally wreck everyone's feelings.
It's like, admittedly, my whole stream is based around Doki Doki, so maybe I'm not one to talk, and then we get fucking some sayonara bits in tonight's episode of Relife, which is what we're going into right now.
No, but seriously, Miss Confine, you're cool with me. Okay. Madoka is a good series.
I'm not sure who I liked more, Madoka's selflessness and love for others, or Homura's undying love for Madoka.
Yeah. I know, right? That's my favorite. It's just like, this is a fucking love story of the ages.
Right.
Holy shit, man. And like, I had somebody go, "Oh, it's not a love story." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Are you kidding?
Time after time and time again and again, going through torturous moments to save her love.
Or the fucking bit at the very end where she's just like, you know, fuck it, spoiler alert. The very end where
Don't
she's just
spoil it.
like, no,
Don't
fuck,
spoil it
no.
for them. Don't.
I hate
Nope.
you.
No, we don't need another fucking riot with from Moxie like last week. Okay.
I'm gonna fucking Moxie mute your goddamn stream.
Moxie's from Puerto Rico. We need to stop messing with her so hard, okay? They got, you know, wink wink fireworks over there.
Oh my god,
Okay?
Katie, do not get me fucking banned.
But anyway, so yeah, Madoka, like this, like you guys could like, we're gonna seriously need to do it, but yeah, I can't even function. Madoka, my heart hurts so bad right now. I'm gonna go cry now.
Right? Yeah, you can go cry at the end.
Also, you should totally follow Tundra and I, because now we need a jam about Madoka. Join the Discord, please. Oh my god.
Wasn't one of my first pictures in your stream Discord the gif of mommy losing her head?
Yes, it was, and I was mad at you for 3 weeks. You didn't even know about it. I was like, I'm so mad at you, and I was like, you're like, why? And I kept showing you, and you're like, oh yeah, and you laughed.
I still have the plushie, actually, the plushie of Cube sitting on my desk right behind my monitor right now.
Me.
So
it really doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Anyway, so Relife. Last week, we're gonna do the right freaking recap. Last week, we had the lovely opportunity for everyone to be super depressed because everybody was angry at each other, all that jazz. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Miss Confined.
Thank you for the follows. Last
week we had everybody being depressed because their best friends was mad at them and all that jazz. So the girl who was in the two volleyball girls got upset with each other, injury, all that jazz. They come back, they want to be friends, but nobody knows how to break the ice to make them friends again. And of course, our main character is an adult, so he feels awkward about it. And the only other character who actually has any fucking vested interest and isn't a total idiot has at least noticed that something is going on is so socially incompetent that she has no chance of being able to do it by herself. So of course, she comes over. Why is it everybody fucking knows where he lives? She comes over at random.
That was my question, actually. I was like really thinking about, I was like, does everyone just have like each other's address? Like, what the fuck?
She comes over And she goes, "I'm at your house. You should let me in so we can talk." And he ignores her. So she just sends this fucking emote over and over and over again until he opens the fucking door and lets her in. And he's just like, "That is scary. Stop, please. No, I don't like this. This is frightening me.
I love the
Please leave
cat
me
stickers.
alone." Yes, I love her cat stickers. And then she's like, "I didn't think I could convey this situation over text, so I felt the need to come over." And he's just like, "You could have just called me." And she's just like, "I've never experienced having a long conversation on the phone with a friend, so I didn't think it was an option." And he's just like, "You are so pathetic. It's sad."
I know.
And then he sits down with her, and of course, fucking the dude who's fucking wiretapping his apartment just sends him a quick text message that just goes, "Assaulting her is out of the question, by the way." With a cute little star at the end, and no, he's not actually going to kill him, except he will.
Yeah, but really though. Okay, can we actually take a hot minute though to appreciate the stickers throughout this freaking webtoon?
They're
where
so
it's
cute.
nothing but cute cat stickers. Like, I want these cat stickers. I'm trying to find them so I can spam people with them. Oh my god.
I think I have the love one later, a picture of the love one later on, but I don't know for sure.
Bye, Moxie. I miss you.
Good night, Max. All right. So I want to say, trying to remember the order of these. I want to make sure they actually come out right.
And I don't want to like continue because I don't want to like mess up.
All right. So he talks to her. They talk to each other about how they both had circumstances where there was a friend that they had or somebody they knew who had been bullied. And she says that the person who she was friends with wouldn't have been bullied if not for the fact that the bullying got worse when she stood up for that friend. And she just says, if I hadn't done anything, it wouldn't have been as hard for this person. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, in my previous school, my senpai was being harassed as well." And he's not actually talking about his previous school. This is something we've been looking forward to for a long time. He's talking about the job he had where he was only at the job for 3 months, which landed him in this program where he has to pretend to be a high school student.
Yeah, because like every time he goes to a job interview, they're really like persnickety about like, "Oh, why were you at this job for 3 months?" And he doesn't talk about it.
He refuses to talk about it, and you guys are about to find out the fun way why. Because
Not so fun way.
Not so fun way.
You remember Mommy?
No, stop it. It's not as bad as Mommy. Mommy loses her head. This is worse.
No.
So he's just like, she was a really strong person. She never became angry even once. I still decided to take matters into my own hands because of my sense of justice. I rebelled against the senpais who were doing the harassment. And then there's this scene. Do you recognize this scene? Does this look familiar to you?
Do 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 doki doki.
I'll make sure I get M's attention for this moment because
you all need to spam M for this. Ready, M?
Yeah. So that's how his day goes.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible, honestly. I took a break when I learned about this part. I took a good 5-minute break. I mean, yeah, it got dark real fast.
It got dark real fast.
And now you know why he doesn't talk about it, which is legitimate.
He does not talk about it at all whatsoever. And then he comes out of that back. Yes. That's where, yeah. Yeah, that game scarred the shit out of me. That's why my whole stream is based around that and people who have depression and not killing themselves. Yeah, I warn people. So, after he comes out of that, remembering that moment, when he opens his eyes from remembering it, he sees the girl in front of him who looks just like the girl that he knew who hung herself. Um, and that's the creepy part. I think these two are actually related, because they look almost identical. And this
Right?
is a manga where that actually means something. I mean, if this were actual Japan, everybody looks identical. No, I'm just fucking. But I think he opens his eyes and she looks at just like him, or just like her, and he just immediately wraps his arms around her and just says, "I'm sorry," over and over and over
Which is, like,
again,
really
until
sweet.
she's finally
Really
like,
sad.
"You can stop. I don't remember you doing anything that needs to be apologized for." And then he just has this moment. He's just like, "Oh God, I fucking hugged her. She's a fucking high school girl, and I'm an old man."
My intentions are ill and unpure, like type level of shit. Cause like, okay, so recap to those that don't know, he's he's part of a program that basically he took a pill to be 20, to
He's
look like a
17
kid
again.
to look 17 again, but he's actually 26,
27.
27 now.
Yeah,
and she's a high schooler,
and
so that's
she's
why he's
an
freaking the fuck
actual
out.
17-year-old high schooler, and he has appears to be in the body of a 17-year-old man, but or 17-year-old boy, but he is actually a 27-year-old man. So any kind of like romantic interaction between these two is a little creepy. Technically legal in Japan, still super fucking creepy. So
Which he does play on that line very well, because he doesn't actually hit on her.
yeah, he doesn't hit on any of them. Even the girl who is actually another 27-year-old girl, he doesn't hit on. Although partially because she's a little weird.
Yeah, he like actively is a good guy. So when that happens, like she's just like, "Why is my heart beating?" And just like, like I still like love the part where she like Google searches on the other series. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why do I? Am I in love?" And it's just like, Google's like, "Yes, you are," and her
Yeah.
friends are like, "Yes, you are." And she's like, "Yeah."
She definitely think is falling for him.
And he
Because
is
as a
like
side
drawing
note,
that
he is a
line.
good guy. Like that's part of the reason why he doesn't go anywhere near like touching any of the other girls, because he realizes like even though um like I said, it is perfectly legal in Japan at 17 for her to have a willing relationship with an adult. It's actually interesting. You know how like in the US like we have certain laws where like even if you're both legal consenting adults, there are like situations where power dynamics make it so it's illegal. Like you're not allowed, it is illegal for a professor at a college to have a sexual relationship with somebody who is currently his student. But if that student is no longer, the moment that student is no longer his student, it is perfectly legal again. Japan has that concept for age group, where any people that are over the age of 17 or 16, girls over the age of 16, boys over the age of 16, are allowed to consent to sexual relationships with people over the age of 18, but
Yeah.
the relationship is under investigation by its very nature, and if any kind of misconduct is found, like that it was through coercion or manipulation or bribery or anything like that, it is immediately like super fucking illegal. um but they like basically they realize that like okay, a 16-year-old can fall in love with an 18-year-old and there's nothing
Like,
really wrong with
I
that.
wish I could do spoilers so bad because of how bad this seems.
I
Like
swear to
so
God,
bad.
if she's another real life, I had that thought today that she might be the other real life subject, the failed real life subject that what's his face that the supervisor had before him. I had that thought, and I was like, maybe the way she failed is because she never learned how to be fucking socially competent, and that's why
Yeah.
she's still in the real life program. I swear to God, if that's true, I'm gonna be like, what gives? But anyway, I really like the scene after he has that memory, and they have a really cute moment together where she's just like, well, right here, I've always been held down by the bad memories of all my mistakes. I want to destroy those memories. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget those failures, but I don't want to be held down by these bad memories. If I keep running away every time something like that happens, I'm sure nothing will ever change. I might have failed in the past, but I'm sure there's plenty of things I still can succeed into. And that's just super like, and he's like, okay, I'll help you. I really want to help you. And this is her response to him being like, I want to help you with this and we'll figure it out. And she's just like, it's deplorable that you're stupid, but I don't think it's relevant enough for me to not rely on you. And it's just like, hey, what the fuck? I'm being nice to you and you're an asshole to me.
Exactly. Like these two are so cute with each other, like their dynamics. Because like he treats her like a little sister, essentially, is what he's forcing this to be, which I commend him. He's trying so hard not to think of her that way.
Yeah, he tries really hard because she tries really hard to make him think of her that way. Welcome back, Moxie. So she then, right before she leaves, she stops and she goes, "Hey, the girl who was at your house, who has the glasses and the braid," who by the way is currently listening to this conversation because she's the real life supervisor who is currently like wiretapping his house. She's like, "Was that girl? Did you hug her too?" And he's like, I will be, yes, streaming on Friday.
I will be too.
She's just like, "Oh," and he's just like, no, I don't hug girls at random. I don't hug other girls. And she's just like, this is just her response. Hold on, it's this one. "So that's how it is. See you Monday then." And she does a real smile, which she's terrible at smiles. And she's just like, she just leaves. And then I had this image.
It's actually her best smile yet.
Yeah, it's one of her best smiles yet. And then I had this image, another one for you, I just saw this. This is the next picture, the next scene where she's just like, the only one he hugged is me, only me. And I just couldn't help but see fucking Monica just the whole time in that scene. I'm just like, oh, she's going down a path that I can't follow.
Right? You're going down a path we cannot take with you. Oh god. No, like this was super cute.
All right, so now I don't have another picture until at this point they go, the two of them go and they That's all right. They go and they talk to the volleyball girl, the volleyball captain who wasn't injured. Not Karyu, the other one, Honoka, that's her name. And they set up a conversation so that they're talking about what is going on and why everybody's so fucking upset the whole time. And basically, one of the friends of Honoka hears what's going on and immediately goes and runs and gets Karyu and has them sit outside, listen to the whole conversation, so that she's not like, she doesn't have to say it more than once. She just has to say it this one time. And
I like it.
Yeah. Background, we get some background and information on Hishiron, who is this girl. She used to move schools all the time, and this really got to me because, well, Sand Goose. And she's like, each time I was finally able to make friends, I'd change schools again. I had to start from scratch and say goodbye almost every year. And I had to have this cute frickin' picture of her as a little kid where she was super excited to meet new people. And then over time, that excitement just goes away. And each time that it shows another picture of her at the next year, it's just her being more and more and more depressed. And then she's just like, the result of all that is this mess. And then they finish the conversation, and Honoka agrees to go talk to Karyu about what happened. And they open the door, and of course, they didn't have time to hide. So of course, two of them just hide behind their bags. Karyu's sitting there with Oga, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And the next scene after this, the very next page, is just the three of them who were talking in the room just go, "Oh, okay," all simultaneously. All right, and then even though it wasn't said the way she wanted it to, Honoka gets excited, happy because everyone caring for her so much, they made it so she was able to say everything she wanted to to Karyu, even though it didn't really wasn't said the way she wanted to say it. And then after all this is done, everybody goes home, and Kaizaki, is that his name?
I think so. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, Kaizaki is walking home with Hishiron, and she goes, "A girl pretty weird and interesting. There's no way I'll ever forget someone like that." And I just immediately was like, because of this is me after that freaking when this fucking page came up, because knowing the fact that he won't forget her, but at the end of the experiment she has to forget him. And I'm just like, "Oh no, this is so sad. What are they gonna do? How are they
I
going to be in
know.
love?"
I know. He said that, and I was like, "No, dude, don't do it. Don't do it, dude." And he did it, and I was like,
So then after everything is said and done, the day of the tournament arrives, and Karyu, even after hearing everything, hasn't shown up to the tournament. So Hishiro and Kazuki go to make sure she comes, even if they have to break her kneecaps to do it.
"Yeah,
When she just opens this door and sees these two just standing there after they said they were a delivery person, I just immediately thought to myself, I am the one who knocks.
I like how what's his face is dressed like a 27-year-old anyway. Like he has a very much an adult look to
Well,
him.
that's because he has a sense of
Like,
fashion because he's a fucking adult. That's all it is. Because the only reason the other two are wearing uniforms is because one of them is intending to participate in the tournament and the other one is an idiot, which is
no, he's not dressed like kids would actually dress though every day. He's dressed like an adult still.
yeah, he's dressed fashionably. And then she's just like, "We came to drag you back. We were waiting for you because we all believed you would come by yourself, but you never appeared. So we're here to get you."
Yeah, pretty much drags her there.
And then Karyu is just making a bunch of excuses and making problems of herself and throwing insults. And Hishira's just like, "This is my favorite moment, as expected. The moment I become irritated has arrived." I just read this in Gladys's voice, and I'm like, okay.
And like her arms raised, I was like, "Oh god, is she gonna roll up a newspaper? Like, what is she gonna do?"
Right? Somebody's gonna get their asses kicked. And then they finally manage to convince her to go back with them because they're like, "Okay, this is ridiculous. You want to go. You clearly want to go. Don't be a dumbass. Let's go." So they run back, and they get there just in time for the last set of the volleyball match. So Karyu rejoins the team and is like, "Okay, I'll help." And basically, if they fuck up this play, they lose the game. Is basically how this basically will go. I don't understand volleyball scoring. I used to play once upon a time. It's been 15 years. Deal with it. So they're playing and she pops this one up. She barely manages to get it in time, but she pops it straight up in the air way too high. And Honoka is ready for it and gets ready to spike it, which is her specialty. She spikes like a champ. And she does, but she spikes it out. And they lose the game. And then they're both bawling, hence the red face. But they're so happy that they're friends again, so they give Hishiro a big hug. And everyone is happy again.
Yeah, it's so cute.
And then, at the very, very, very end, best part of the whole volume, very last scene of the volume, as they're leaving, they see Kaizaki sees An and Yoake, the two supervisors who fucking hate each other but annoy him fucking constantly, walking around
Yeah.
the game because they were watching him to see how he'd react with the whole situation. And he sees them together and he's like, "Oh, this is perfect. I could not ask for more." So he's just like, "Huh? Could it be that you two are going out together? Are you two on a date right now?"
Yes.
And
Yes.
everyone, all of the other students with him, just jump on this idea that these two are dating now.
Yes.
Especially because An usually wears glasses and has her hair all done up. So her hair is down. She's not wearing glasses, so presumably she's wearing contacts. The glasses are fake, by the way. And so she is there. Everyone is like, "Oh, you guys must be dating." And it's especially great because now they have to pretend that they're dating, even though they fucking hate each other. They
and they work
absolutely
together.
hate each other,
They work
and they
together.
work together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I was like, this is the best thing ever. I'm
the
really
ultimate
excited for the next
punishment.
chapter.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what happens next as well. All right. That's pretty much the entirety of Real Life for the evening.
You did it.
Yeah.
15 minutes to spare too.
I mean 15 minutes to spare.
I thought we were going to midnight.
We were going till the show was done.
Oh, wow.
Have I ever set a time limit on this shit? Heck, even on my currently incredibly inaccurate schedule, it says 8 until whenever we finish.
Okay.
Was there anything else we wanted to talk about tonight?
I keep focusing back to Madoka because now Madoka's in my mind again. Oh. Do you all have recommendations for like a gift for someone who enjoys these sort of things? Alrighty. Okay, we need to know specifics. Like, what are these person's tastes and interests?
I'll be right.
I'm gonna be right back. Okay. Like,
Don't say nothing that'll get me banned while I'm away.
I can't promise you anything. No, I'm just joking. I will. I'll be good. Okay, so what's their likes and dislikes? Like, do they like mystery? Do they like some romance? Both. Comedy. Action. A little bit of Monica in my life. I don't know why I got that. It's because I'm looking at Monica right now, and now I got Mumble number 5 in my head now. He has like 3 waifus. I don't know which ones. But he like, oh boy, he likes the pet girl one, and he generally likes horror. Oh, okay. You low-key get jelly of the waifus. Don't be jelly of the waifus. Okay, you're also the waifu. It's like a collective, like, thing of waifus. Alrighty. Since he likes horror and pet girls, I would say Fullmetal Alchemist. Go on, tell him. Oh my god. I'm glad Thunder's not here. I'm so upset with myself now. Have him watch Fullmetal Alchemist. Oh, you're not a waifu yet. Oh. Tell him that's a status, like, you are meant that status. I recommend Fullmetal Alchemist because of Nina. There's this girl named Nina, and she combines with a dog, becomes a pet girl, technically. It's also a horror. And it's also, I like the series. That's what I recommend. You just get them the whole set. Just say, here you go. Here's your pet girl series.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. You're gonna be so, you missed it. Oh my god. So she wants to know a recommendation for a boyfriend, and like he likes the pet girl of Sakuraso,
yeah, and he generally likes horror.
Likes horror. And I'm like, oh well, if he's into pet girls, you know what you should get him? And horror, Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so fucked up. Oh my god. Oh.
And then I was like, dang it, Chandra's not here because he would appreciate it.
Oh, that's so fucked up on so many levels. I'm into pet
right?
girls and I want to throw up right now.
I know, right? That's why I'm saying. That's the
Okay.
best pro gift you can do.
For yeah, probably seen Full Metal Alchemist. Realistically, that's probably a good guess. Um I would say one thing that I've noted that I've really been interested in, especially because you said he's into horror, he's into cute girls. Immediately, does he like video games at all? Would be the first question I
Oh, I
have,
know
because
where
I
you're
have an
going.
idea that comes to mind that would very much be up this kind of person's alley if he likes games at all.
You looked it up. Okay. Just tell him, just straight up. If he has a Twitch, just have him come over. We can make jokes. Get all the jokes.
Okay, so if he likes video games, I play League as well. This person might actually need to come hang out with me. Because now he's a weeb who likes pet girls and horror and plays League of Legends.
I
think the first thing you need to do is you need to buy him a subscription to my channel. But other than that, oh, that'd be awesome.
Really sweet.
No matter what that is, that's cool. But almost by definition, I did see it, and I will come back to that as well. So my first thought is, since he likes games and he likes horror and he likes anime with cute girls, there is a visual novel game that is like a horror mystery novel that is anime based with a bunch of cute girls called Higurashi When They Cry.
Yeah.
I played the first one for Halloween this year. And oh yeah, that's actually a really good. I love the Karthus shirt merch is actually really nice. Especially if he mains Karthus.
Yeah, exactly. Like
plus riot points. That's a really good
your guys' gamer tag so we can all play League together now.
Yeah,
you and I can talk about
Katie to feed, but
cute anime girl stuff, like cute actual shows. They can talk about horror and pet girls. Like, it's a perfect scenario for you guys.
But yeah, I'm gonna type it into chat real quick. Higurashi When They Cry is it's basically about God, I can't even really talk about what it's about. It's so very it's
I'm not a horror movie
like I said, it's a horror anime visual novel video game that
I
is
made the
like
mistake of watching a vid on it. It's not for someone that likes horror stuff. It's not.
It isn't at first. It takes a bit of time to get into because it is a horror mystery. It does not throw it all at you. But I promise you, by the end of that game, it is gory. Wow, Moxie, okay. I feel bad for you because like I did a full run of the first chapter of Higurashi during October, and you didn't get to see it, and it's not even up on my VODs anymore. That was actually a really good run. I was considering doing future chapters for next year, but I'm not sure yet.
I was thinking about playing it, but then I was like, let me watch some videos because it does, like, people were saying it's fucked up. So I was like, what do you mean? It's cutesy. And then I watched it
and immediately gets fucked up. It's like Madoka, actually, except it's not quite as good a quality art as Madoka. Madoka has really good art. It is an anime, but the anime also has really low quality art, which is pretty sad. Right. I even did voices for all the characters. I'll eventually get it put up on my YouTube, but I just have I have such a huge backlog for YouTube videos to make. It's ridiculous. I've been doing this since July, and I only have through the second day of streaming ever on my that I've actually finished as far as making YouTube videos go. If he's not into visual novel style games, then obviously he probably won't like Higurashi too much. But it still might be a good option. Trying to think of anything else he might like. There's a lot of good horror animes. I feel like I was just watching one a while ago, but I can't remember what it was anymore. Yes,
What Anji
I
or
remember I
IG?
remember what it's called. Hold on. Hmm. God, it's
What
so
is it?
hard to remember. It's about this girl who just wakes up completely unconscious in in like a tower almost, or like a basement, and each level of the basement has like a serial killer on it, and she has to figure out a way to escape each one of them, and like she enlists the help of one of them in exchange for letting him kill her when she escapes, kind of thing. I don't really get what the point of that is, but it's like it's really good.
I
Here
don't
it
know.
is. I
One,
literally type in "let him kill her" anime, and it's the first thing that comes up. It's
has he seen Parasite? Like Parasite?
it's called Satsuriko no Tenshi, but I can't remember what the. Here we go. In English, it's called Angels of Death,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard that one actually.
and
But
that is
has
pretty good
he?
too. Has some pretty good horror and thriller aspects, along with having also being an anime. So
One I recommend that I actually read, and it's actually pretty good, but fucking terrifying. It's called Parlor Woman. Parlor Woman, and it's like here's like the Japanese for spelling of it. But basically, it's a series of scary stories,
oh yeah, I know
essentially.
this one. That one is
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty fucked. Like I got scared because someone's like, "Oh, you should read it. It's like interesting, scary," and I was like,
Also,
"Oh, maybe I can handle interesting, scary, but it's scary, scary."
anything by anything by Junji Ito is gonna be
Yeah.
also really good. He's pretty much the if if you asked me who like who a
Oh.
great American horror author is like I'd be like Stephen King or something like that. Junji Ito is the equivalent for Japanese manga and animation. He is the quintessential horror for that entire genre of horror. um in answer to your question, good starting point for anime kind of depends on what you're into. If you're into romances, I heavily recommend just going right for the throat and starting with Toradora.
Mm.
Because a lot of them are a lot of the base romances that are just straight romances are terrible, as we've found through the process of making this show. They just are very baseline, not entertaining. This Toradora is one of the few anime and or manga that is a good romance. That is just a romance. It's a straight romance. No real harem aspect. No real weirdness to the aside. But it's a actual legitimately good story. Unlike most. Most are just boring and meander their way through a romance.
First or
This one
second,
actually does a good
first two
job.
episodes are kind of boring to me, but getting through it, like it is good. It gets better and better, better as it continues.
Yeah.
It becomes really, really good. I would say, comedy wise, Sonata Children
It's
or
Sure
something.
Dure Children.
That one I recommend because it's like a light heart romance
It's romance
comedy.
comedy.
I feel like that would be a good starting point, actually.
It's not bad, but
It's one of my favorites.
I also don't think it's in English. Um
Recommend starting that one because it'll give you at least a sense of what you would like. Because
Also,
there's
it
a
kind of
little bit of
depends on what you
everything.
have access to. So, like, if you don't have access to money, which I know is pretty often a problem for you, it's going to be hard to get your hands on Sure Dure Children because it's
On
not
Crunchyroll.
licensed to anybody but Verve, and they require a monthly subscription.
Crunchyroll does for free. Like you just download it as an app. You get commercials, but it's free.
Crunchyroll made it so you cannot use their app anymore on any platform but the computer when
Oh,
they
really? Okay.
designed Verve. That's why Verve exists. Crunchyroll
Oh,
owns
okay.
Verve.
That sucks.
Yeah, Verve is the only thing that works on anything other than PC. Um,
My Hero Academia would be another good anime series to start for your if you like. It would at least let you know if you're into shonen because it's not like the it's like actually good shonen. Just
Here's the
skip the
problem though.
openings.
If you like My Hero Academia, that doesn't mean you like other shonen because all the other shonen are bad in comparison. So
Yu
it
Yu
might just be
Hakusho
you
is a
might just
good
like that
shonen.
show. Yu Yu
Yu Yu
Hakusho isn't
Hakusho.
a shonen,
Oh,
not a
that's right.
traditional shonen
Not
anyway.
traditional. Yu Yu Hakusho set the freaking bar. Like that was my starter, and it's my favorite one of my favorite ones.
I mean, the
Kind of
traditional
funny.
shonen are Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece
Bleach.
and Bleach. Yeah, Bleach. Because those are the only ones that because there's never had to be a lot of shonen because they last for fucking ever. It's one of the biggest problems with the genre as a whole. Um, honestly, of the four, I would pick up Bleach
Yeah.
because Bleach at
It's
least starts
interesting.
off. Bleach starts good and gets bad. All the other ones start mediocre, get good for a while, and then become bad.
Yeah.
Bleach starts really, really, really good and then becomes bad when they ran out of material.
Just do season 1 to 4.
Yeah,
Just
like
stop.
season 1 through 4-ish of Bleach would be okay if you want a lot of homework to do.
Just
Um,
that's it. That's all you do. Once 4 is done, you just cut yourself off. Save you a lot of heartache.
right. I'm trying to think of what else is a good place. If you want, trying to think.
Kami-sama. Kami-sama is a really good romance one. I
Kami-sama
recommend it.
Kiss is a good romance. Inuyasha is a good shonen and
Mm.
romance. Cowboy Bebop. 26
Cowboy Bebop's
episodes.
pretty
It's
funny.
literally
I
going
like
to take you it's going to take you 10 hours. That's it. And it is if you haven't watched Cowboy Bebop, you can't say you like anime. Like you're not allowed to almost. If you haven't at least watched at least the main episodes.
Cowboy Bebop's one of those like super cool, jazzy, different kind of shows that have a little bit of everything in it. I recommend also for a good starter is Cowboy Bebop. Honestly, it's like that would be up your alley.
The biggest thing with Cowboy Bebop is
It also has a
it
corgi in it.
feels bad to make it a starting point because nothing's ever really gone there again.
True.
It's like one of those things where it was the genre creator, but nothing's ever actually tried to recreate that genre and that style ever, or even remotely close.
There was like one show I remember trying to, but they failed at it. I'm trying to
Swear
like
to
I
God,
think I
if you
blocked
say
it out.
Space Dandy.
Oh, that's it. That's right. That's what I blocked out.
No, they
'Cause I
were
was like,
they were definitely not trying to recreate Cowboy Bebop. I will tell you that right now.
no,
They were really trying to recreate panties and stocking and garter belt in space. That's what they were trying to do. And that they succeeded at. But
see, like Tandra's more of kind of romance. He's like slice of life, different slice of life, romance, horror stuff.
I am
More
aware of the existence of horror, but I do not actually watch it when it comes to anime or manga, surprisingly. Aside from
that's surprising
Higurashi,
'cause-
I've actually very rarely watched any of it. That Angels of Death, it was a rare one-off where I picked it up because it looked kind of interesting, and then I realized it was a horror after 3 episodes, but at that point I was already hooked.
see, I'm more of action shonen, some shonens like Yu Yu Hakusho and romance comedy type girl. Like Tandra's like fills out the rest. We have very different tastes. That's why we are partners because we kind of like put everything like towards the whole
Katie's super shonen and super into like
action.
yeah, action is all that Katie watches. Like she has the
I
worst.
like.
She has the worst fucking taste in anime.
I do not. Okay.
She is what's wrong with the anime industry. She is a
Oh my God, really? You're gonna
she
go
is
through
a
this today?
30-something-year-old woman who watches shows that are
really?
targeted at a 12-year-old audience, a 12-year-old
Wait,
male audience, no less.
If I'm now a 30-something-year-old woman, does that make you like 40-something-year-old at this point then,
Sure,
buddy?
sure.
No, okay. He's only saying that because he wants to watch like gushy, lovey
I watch
dovey
nothing but fucking romantic
romance.
romances.
And then it's like, I
Nothing.
just need something a little bit more. I
I
like
am
maybe
the
some
most
action.
fucking moe piece of trash fucking human being you will ever meet. I watch almost nothing but fucking romances and some comedies and
And harems
like this
and
fucking Bigata HK that we were showing earlier or fucking Real Life. That if speaking of which, that's an anime. Real Life is an anime, isn't it?
yes, it is. That's
Fuck,
why I
I gotta wait
recommend it
until
to
I
everyone.
finish the manga, but I need to go
I,
watch that.
I tell you
Um,
several times a day, like it's an anime and it's OVAs. Watch all of them.
and I'm
Yeah, no.
always like
Okay.
if you ask what's
Uh,
wrong with the anime, anyone who does this like talks about these shows professionally and actually like does like Gigak or anybody like that. Um, See, I can't do romance novels. I can only manage to do romance mangas and animes, and I don't know why. Because they're probably just about the same level of trashy, but I've just never been
I'm
able
not
to really get
saying
myself
every time
into
you say that, I laugh
romance
because it's
novels.
like they're the same thing, my dude. No,
But
like
like
it's funny because the last couple ones I've been suggesting to him is the ones he's currently obsessed with. Real life, uh, Cherry Boy meets Cherry Girl, basically whatever be Baka HK. I
Bigata
keep forgetting.
HK is like super my alley. Yamada-kun is very much my alley. I'm so
Yeah,
the high school slice of life with a little bit of added in romance is uh that is like my jam. Like Yamada-kun in the Seven Witches is literally like every fucking manga, every fucking anime or manga I've ever read. Like before that, I was reading the one I keep referring to, Actually I Am, which is the manga about the girl who is actually a vampire who gets discovered by the boy who can't keep a secret, and he has to
yeah.
keep her secret in order for her to not get have
Oh,
to
is this
leave
the one I
school.
gave you?
Yeah, you gave me like the first six volumes or so,
So
and
he
I
thinks
proceeded to read the
I
whole
did, but
goddamn
like
thing.
everyone I've actually gave him or forced him to watch, he's liked. The only reason he says I have trash is because my guilty pleasures I show him the most. So
She
he's
has
just like, this
trash
is
taste for herself is the biggest thing. She knows what my taste is and is able to pick things out that match my taste. It's just her own taste is garbage.
yeah, like okay, but like quite a few ones are my own taste. He agrees. Yu Yu Hakusho he can't badmouth, not truly, and freaking Real Life. I had to force his arm so much into Real Life because I was like, because he's like, oh, it's a slice of life. I'm like, yes, but it's a different slice of life. Trust me, it's worth it. And he's like, okay, if this is boring, and then reads like the first volume of it, and he's like, this is amazing. And I was like, I told you,
I
my
do
guy.
really like Real Life. I'll give her that. I really like Real Life. New Game is another example. New Game, the manga we just added tonight, one of the four comas, which honestly I'm not such a fan of the manga. That is so up my jam. Like I've watched both seasons of the anime because I fucking love that shit. Like just
And I
slice
haven't
of life,
really watched it.
cute girl, slice of life, especially in a school setting, which that specific one isn't. With a little bit of fucking romance thrown in, if possible, or even hints of romance like that one. That is my frickin' jam.
Yeah, like that's
I'll
mostly his
fucking
jam. I'm
rub
more
my lady boner to
cutesy,
that all night.
actiony, straightforward type things. I'm not. I'm pretty like I'm pretty
I
okay.
was amazed
Oh,
that Katie
you
liked
got the
Monica.
1990s romance? Dang.
I was
Dang. I know
amazed
what
that
you're
Katie
talking
liked
about.
Monica because like that is so my jam. Romance, cute girls in school, little bit of supernatural throw in.
Oh yeah, no, that okay, so how I got into Monica and then how I got Tundra into it was like my cousin was literally and I were like, let's find an anime on Netflix. Let's just pick one. And we're like, oh, this looks cute. We start watching it and bawling our eyes out and just been watching this. And I was like, why is this like this is so amazing? Why is no one talking about it? So I had Tundra watch it. And he's just like, I hate you so much. You got
I
me into
hate you
this.
so goddamn much.
Anyway, I'm gonna say goodnight, guys. I will be talking to some of you after this. I think all of you at this point after this. I'm getting all these messages.
Right? I will be
So,
available to message in the Discord as well. I just won't be on voice because I'm going to lay down and try to at least get 4 hours of sleep tonight instead of the 2 I would normally be looking at.
you need to sleep, my dude.
I'm just saying normally it would be 2 because I fall asleep at like 4 if I'm lucky.
Do you want instead of our talk right after? Do you want to talk when tomorrow? Because I'm off tomorrow.
No, it's literally you and me are gonna take like 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right. I will see everybody later. And with that, good night, viewers. Good night.
Bye, Cupcats.